Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just about ready to continue the McLaren adventure here. And we're up in Monza. We have, I believe, 9 races left this season, including Monza. So that is going to be interesting. 9 more chances to break the car parts here. And hopefully, as I said in last stream, we're going to try and get probably this season done with McLaren because we are on course of winning. And then maybe with team switching, we might switch the stream up and try Alfa Romeo maybe on the fourth one. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully everything is up and running. Let's just double check that. I think it should be okay. Seems to be running, which is nice to see at least. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it. I believe that we don't really have any sort of damage currently, luckily enough. We should be all caught up on parts. Both cars are using the correct chassis, which is nice. Should be the same here. I believe we're manufacturing what we are lacking. So yeah, we are basically caught up on everything. We could go for this railing for a little bit more cornering, but honestly, it's fine. Hello, Jasper. How you doing? And the side pod air. The engine cooling, although the gains are great, the engine cooling is a little bit too much of a negative for me. So I think we are ready. We're still going to continue doing what we have been doing, which is basically just research at this stage. And we're going to be doing that for next season. And we'll see where we actually do end up. But for now, I think we can just jump straight into the next race. That is the front wing caught up. Should make life a little bit easier. Let's see what we can do in terms of race prep. Finish position, both driving top 5. Again, the main problem I have with the fact that I have so many different saves is that I need to kind of re-establish where I'm at for each save. I'd say one thing, Show needs to go in the Alpha series to prone to crash. It probably is a little bit too crash prone, but we'll deal with that all fun. We'll see what we actually end up with next season. What is the best way to get the most performance with a low budget? That would probably be researching for next season. Competitive Brain. Hello, Dari. Good afternoon. How you doing? If you're thinking just pure performance, it would be doing a research for next season. That's what's going to pay off the most. Probably from, cash to performance. But again, you're going to have to wait for next season. Other than that, the only other way of doing it would be to make specialized parts to make your life a little bit easier there. But not much else than that. Hello, Edstar, how you doing? Good afternoon. So yeah, let's jump into Italy. Having a low budget is, kind of painful, but there's just not much you can do. Red Bull just overpowered? Not really. We're in the second season, and we're already kind of beating them. We're leading the championship. So Red Bull is incredibly strong for that first season, but you can quickly kind of get into a more competitive territory. So beating the first season is going to be very difficult, but other than that, you're going to have a bit of a harder time. 3 years so far this season, all done for the Hulk. I'd say you've smashed your Hulk Smash challenge there. It's by far. How many seasons do I tend to play before I end a series? Basically, I tend to end series when there's no longer any fun to be had, Alpun, or when there's no longer anything interesting going on. Basically, if we get into a point where we are winning every race 1-2, there's no real challenge for us. There's nothing more we want to test or experiment with. That is when the series ends. So it'll depend on that. Basically, is it any longer fun? Have I achieved what I wanted to achieve with it? And things like that. So with team switching, though, we could definitely have a longer lasting series that maybe goes into, double-digit number of seasons, because we can just switch to a worse team every time we start to kind of dominate. So I'm looking forward to that patch at the end of this month. It should give us a potential to have way longer games by switching teams often. Potentially doing a, win the championship with every team challenge type deal. And that would also probably work really well for learning how to deal with certain problems, certain, scenarios. And honestly, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I think we're ready, except for needing to put on the shabby parts. Now, for Norris here, this engine, I don't think we're going to be able to last the rest of the season with that. Same with the ERS here. So we're probably going to have to buy engine, ERS, and gearbox for him. Sorry, this is Piastri. For Piastri, sorry. Which is going to be a big shame, but it's just, you know, how destroyed that car is. Norris can maybe survive, but at the same time, we are going to have to probably buy some more parts here too. So most of our current budget is going to be spent making new engine, new ERS, new gearboxes for these boys. And if we buy a full set for each, that is, what would it be, 17 million of the cost cap, which is currently half of what we have remaining. So we'll have to see exactly how we deal with that as we go. It's going to be a bit more challenging, I think. When is the team switch update coming? They haven't said much. Just said that it's going to be late August, so within the next couple of weeks. Jasper. Do like a pep. Don't think I'll be able to win the title with Hulk. He seems to be retiring after season 2. Can't you bribe him enough that he stays? Or is it just no matter what you do, it's game over? I don't want to play with you no more. Yeah, they went over the cost cap because of engines. Yeah, can quickly become very expensive. Do I enjoy my job? Seems to take a toll on me. Yes, I do enjoy my job. It's just been a tad busy the last couple of weeks is all. And when this game came out, I had basically a couple of weeks of vacation to pump out content with, so that is why I've been tuning down the release schedule. It's not because of the job is taking a toll on me. It's basically just because I now have to do my job as well as, you know, make videos, play the game. So it's just that I have much more limited time right now than I had a couple of weeks ago. A little bit of both. Don't want to overspend. Yeah. Give them like a 20 million salary. They usually stay. 20 million is a small investment to make Hulk champion. Honestly, though, it's perfectly fine. I'm very tempted to make a long-term game where the goal is to make Sophia world champion. That I think could be a bit interesting. Might not do it with this one, but maybe the Alfa Romeo one, if we do it longer than a couple of seasons. See how quickly can we make her world champion, power through with the cars and everything. Okay, we're good with this for Norris. So we got a good setup going. I'd say this is acceptable. Both cars in the 95 range. We'll take that for sure. Okay. Time to switch on to, well, just a one part for Piastri. At least it makes that life easy. But yeah, with the car parts that we have, with the propensity that we have for getting crashes, we are potentially gonna break the cost cap again. And we might break it severely this time around. So we'll see exactly how we end up actually playing this out. Money is gonna be a bit of a concern from that perspective. Remember the gambling? Who thinks Piastri's gonna crash? Oscar is faster. Hello, Rodrigo. First corner red flag in Monaco at the start. It was definitely a crash. I made 2-stop work with Hulk. That's pretty good. Depends on how much your board believes in your Alphon. Basically, I think you can break the cost cap as much as you want, provided you don't go into depth. Basically, the board hates the board doesn't care how you spend your money, as long as you don't have to take out a loan to spend more money. So usually you're fine, as long as you don't get to that point. Let's just double check that everything is good. Seems like it, but I thought this was an ATA qualifying, or am I misremembering? I might have misremembered. Send Norris out first, then send Piastri out a little bit later. Oh yeah, it's the other Italian track that's the ATA qualifying. My bad. Yeah, Spain last year was basically a freebie. This year it's just like, you know, you will suffer. Your tires have no power here. What do I think that devs could do to improve the game? Basically, a lot of the issues with the game is just down to balancing at this stage, I feel. Of course, getting things like engine fixes, basically making you able to develop your engine if you're a works team. You know, basically become a works team, things like that could be nice. But generally, just balancing the tire wear. For one, the tire temperature. For second, because right now running aggressive or attack is just straight up the best strategy to the point where it's kind of required if you lower it down in the order. I just like to see a balance of that where actually running aggressive or attack does cost you. Like, you should be able to use it situationally, but running it for full stints on most tracks, just I don't feel like running attack especially seems too viable to me. So mostly what I'd like to see is just a bunch of rebalances. How they're going to rebalance that, that's going to be a bit more difficult to do, of course, so they don't actually have an easy job ahead of them in that regard. But Rebels out? Damn. You're lucky. Looks like quality is going good though, so I probably should have bet on us finishing a little bit higher than what we did. Currently 1-2. But this is one of the tracks where the 1-2 strategy works amazingly well because they don't really start pushing until around here. So, yeah. Hello, Lorenzo. How you doing? Through that, there is a bit of an engine freeze, so it would be nice, honestly, to have it added, but because of the, I guess, the engine freeze regulation, they haven't bothered with it. But I'd like to see, even then, just, you know, add a light version for this game, or next game, where you get, you know, you can work on the durability of your engine, make it have a little bit more HP, so to speak, so that they don't all, suddenly you won't have to buy a new one every season if you just have a couple of light taps. Would be nice. I do enjoy the new driver system a lot more than last year.
So the track will go green now.
Because last year, all you really need to do was put it into braking until you hit 97. Then you'd go down the other pace stats until you know, hit the second quickest stat, so forth and so on. So it is an improved system, for sure. It also seems like the development right now is more strongly tied to... Well, it's more strongly tied to performance rather than age, which is nice. Because most of my older drivers have yet to lose some points, honestly, which is interesting. I've been enjoying your vids a lot lately. Keep it up. Thank you, Lorenzo. Glad you enjoy.
That's a decent lap. That's a decent lap. If you could keep your pace up on the in lap.
Like a component where it's just a tad too high, and that is another thing that kind of I feel like should have a rebalance because it gives you the player a huge advantage because we switch components out for practices, and I'm pretty sure the AI still don't do that. So they tend to run at least one variable, one component at any given time, and add a couple of crashes into that too, and you get a very... The AI will get far less performance out of the car than you do. So it's basically the player has huge advantage most of the time. Should balances be left on and manually control ERS? I prefer to just keep balances on. It seems to do its job nicely. If you lose some time, I think that is down to actually your drivers recharging their battery. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, I lose a little bit of time running the ERS balances, but if you run the ERS balances, you'll see that on most tracks, when your drivers have pre-air, they will actually recharge the batteries. So I think that is the reason why a lot of people are saying that, oh, we're losing time running with it on. I think it's worth it to keep it on, and I do that, and I haven't seen any, you know, huge losses in performance. But again, it's personal preference. I usually leave it on. If a driver gets stuck behind another car, or I need to get overtakes done fast, I'll manually use deploy. If they have a full battery, I'll use a little bit of deploy to help them out. But generally, I leave it on, and not super micromanage the ERS, but manage it if, as I said, our driver has trouble getting past the car in front. So it's situational. Some races I don't really touch ERS at all, just put on the ballast assist. Other races require a little bit more help, basically tracks that is harder to overtake on. But generally, I feel like the ballast assist is a good system. I have Alonso, and he's winning most races, going up 1 overall. Yeah. It's interesting to see though, because Alonso in the AI's hand usually ends up degrading pretty quickly. Like I believe he's down to 87 now. But if you do well with him, he can actually improve, and I like that, honestly. It took Alonso such a long time before he went down, yeah. Hello, Stego, how you doing? See, now we'll do one. I think we have enough for one push lap, more push lap. Or should I call both of them in? No, we'll do this cooldown lap and then push lap. We should just have enough time to do that. So Norris is currently P1 running on 67 soft, so I think we're looking good here. I think we'll just have enough time to do one more run on fresh. Well, not one more run, you get what I say, 2 more runs. Should just be enough time, and with P confidence that should help with the lap times too.
You are P5.
Yeah, I feel like the Merc has kind of been done dirty this year, because every save that I've had so far, they basically become the 6th best team come Season 2. So they've been probably nerfed a little bit too hard, might need a little bit of a buff there. Halfway Season 3, only research, still not gonna make the... Are you saying that you're gonna hit the cost cap, or you're not gonna make the cost cap, Stacko? Do you think the factory should get more of a balance? I haven't actually had a look on facilities much for the different teams, unfortunately. That one is a tad hard to answer. Yeah, I think the thing is, if I would really like it if they took the current situation, like say facilities are currently being built, just add it as an event that, oh, after 2 more years, the quality... I'd like to see a factory size and factory quality being things, honestly. Basically a little bit more in-depth building system, but I understand why they have it as it is, so it's gonna be difficult. Again, there's a lot of things in this game that probably should have a little bit of a pass with the rebalance, but honestly, I think the buildings are good as they are for now. I wouldn't prioritize that. I'd rather prioritize the race fuel and the engine. Get the balance in there first.
The time has almost come for our drivers to fight it out.
Oh, you're not going to make the new rules. That is a bit unfortunate, but it's unfortunately how it is with the research force balanced. You're probably going to do a lot better than the AI, though, Stego. Do I think the pit stop training is too easy? Yeah, honestly, it's a bit too reliable. Like last year's game, you would actually struggle to keep a, quick pit crew. This year, you can max your pit crew halfway through Season 2 and keep it maxed for basically the remainder of the game. So I like a little bit of a middle ground between those two. I like to see that if you, say, don't focus on, gym, the car building aspect for a month, the longer you go without focusing on something, it should have a higher drop, so that you can't just do specialized calendars where we only do one thing forever. I think that would be nice. It's a little bit too quick now, but it's a far better system than what we had in 22, honestly. He's not gonna crash. Our premiere video will hopefully be out later today, yeah, Simone. I'm about halfway through. I slept in a tad longer today, unfortunately, so with the things I had to do, it's probably going to be out around 9 PM, so 6 or so hours, unfortunately, because as I said, I'm just halfway through, and I am going to have to do something after the stream. So it will be out later, but again, it's going to be out a little bit later than normal, because I had a bit of an incident where I slept in, so it's just how it's going to have to be, unfortunately. 50% on the underfloor, only everything have above 35%, you're going to make it not possible. Basically, with those regulations, I just say I'm not going to develop my car, and I'm just going to do research for the entire season, get a rocket ship for the season after. Because you are going to, if you do that, you are going to beat out the AI pretty severely. You are going to have a worse car than you have this season, but if you focus research only, you'll have a better car than the AI come next season. Definitely looking forward to the first patch. Yeah, me too, Rick. Norris Leclerc going to change team later on for Porsche and Drogovic for sure. What is my favorite F1 manager game? Currently, it's actually probably this one. If we talk about before this series came out, it would probably be Motorsport Manager. Played that a lot when it came out. I think you'll be okay, Stego. As long as you just focus research till the end, you should be okay. Just make sure that you focus on, again, with how hard the regulation's setting, just try and keep everything a little bit equal. Maybe have your front wing, rear wing, and, well, your underfloor in particular. Well, your front wing and rear wing should be 5% over the other three pieces, and try and get your underfloor, since it has a 15% extra hit, probably 10% over the rest, and I think you'll be good. Because the underfloor is a very, very important part of performance. Okay, let's set up a strategy for this race. So, there was, again, a lot of questions there, so last time around. So if anyone still has a question about how to calculate, basically, how long can you expect the softs to be quicker than mediums, things like that, let me know. For this one, we can see that the softs are going to be quicker for about 17 laps, which is pretty good here. So softs are a very good choice. Mediums are going to be quicker than the hard for about 13 laps, 14 laps. Not the best choice, but still viable. But we'd like to probably avoid the mediums if we can. And it's a fairly short pit lane with just 23 seconds expected loss. So with that in mind, we could probably do something like this. We could probably also do something like this if we really want to be adventurous. A very aggressive strategy, saves about 32 seconds. This could work, honestly. Piastri does have a little bit low low smoothness though, so he could definitely also not make that work. We'll have to see. I don't know how to feel about the fact that you guys have straight up set up a betting pool on whether or not Piastri is going to crash. Okay, medium and hard for Piastri, same for Norris. Okay, so we don't have the flexibility to make any you know, funny strats here. But we could do a little bit of a cheeky one. Let's see, if we do this, they're equal in time. So putting in a medium stint could actually help us out here. I think we do start on the mediums maybe. Because the difference in time is equal. So basically putting in a medium stint here for that first stint gives us a little bit more freedom for those final two stints, particularly for Piastri. So we'll do this for Piastri. It's going to slow him down a little bit, honestly, probably about a second, but it's going to be worth it. And we'll do the same thing for Norris, because honestly, tires are less important here. Running attack is far more important, interestingly enough. So we're going to do this. For Norris, it's just going to be easier for him, and I think this should be okay. Hello, Poco. You voting no crash? No, damage counts as a crash, so either he needs to hit the wall or hit another car. Thomas. I only see a small loss and big gains. Fine. Going back 10 for no damage. We're 15. We're about to start a 15 race, and he's already destroyed 2 engines, 2 ERSs, 3 gearboxes. So the odds are stacked against you here, Thomas. He does not like taking care of his car. But yeah, I think we're going to go with this. It should be okay here. The hard tires are very viable if you can go full attack on them. Versus say the mediums with the same. So for this race, we're going to go with this. And it should be a lot quicker than the other strategies here by almost over 20 seconds.
All 10 teams are now getting... Here we go. It's the Italian Grand Prix.
So we see a lot of medium here. We also see a couple of softs.
It's lights out.
So most cars here might actually be on something similar to Piastri. So if you really want to be cheeky here, we could actually have Piastri hold up the field a little bit. And that might actually be what we might try and do here. Although that Ferrari is immediately attacking us. Piastri is going to make the unbelievable believable. Ocon to replace Hulk? Probably not a bad option, honestly, to be fair. He came out, get Albon. How's he been doing? Good for Season 2 change a lot. K-Mag over Albon. Oh, sorry, Albon over K-Mag, my bad. Really like Albon, he's the most reliable, cheap driver. I haven't actually checked Albon's stats, to be honest, so I don't know what kind of stats he plays with. Hello, BKK. Been a crazy week. Me too. Although I think yours may be a little bit more crazy. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, even if you've had a bit of a rough week. Okay, so we had a good start. Piastri lost out one position to Leclerc. That is fine. As you can see, the AI is still also pushing very aggressively. They usually do that by a couple of laps. We should still be fairly okay here. I think we are going to tune down the usage of ERS though before we go too low. For Lando here, I'm going to keep him pushing ERS a little bit longer because we do want him to stay outside of Leclerc's DRS if possible. 84 rated over 83. It's better in status matter, accuracy, smoothness, cornering. How's this overtaking stats? Because they seem to have a fairly high, effect on crashes this year. Interestingly enough. Okay, I say we are in a fairly stable position right now. The only thing here is if Piastri is going to make a move, and he does. We're going to keep both drivers on full attack, so we're not really too worried here. But we might turn Piastri down a little bit here, just to recharge the ERS and try and create a gap to the rest of the field. Because what we don't want him to do is chase down Norris with, well, the rest of the field in tow. Russell takes Checo's place. K-Mag to Aston. Merck has Ocon and Albon. That does sound like a crazy lineup, yeah. I think we are gonna... This is very shaky. What changes I think we will see next patch? Let's crash in the air absent one. They did post the expected patch notes. They're basically fixing the penalties so that the wrong driver doesn't get the penalty. I guess we could see some tuning on how we expect penalties to be applied. But generally, the patch notes are already available. Of course, they could add some more to that, but I'm not too hopeful on that. I'm just gonna, live in reality, so to speak. Okay, so I think this is the time when we actually just deploy with Piastri. Did get immediately overtaken though, so maybe we save that. See if we can get the overtake done on this lap. But yeah, I haven't actually seen too many bad crashes, to be fair, but that might just be me being lucky. I think it varies a lot from save to save. Particularly, I think most of my crashes have actually been on this stream, for those of you who have seen my other videos. So while crashing might be a bit severe, it seems to really slow down from Season 2 and onwards as more cars get higher brake cooling, as we, get a little bit better stats, drivers develop a little bit more, so it's a bit of a weird one to kind of adjust to. At least the fact that we're going to get, proper penalties is going to be good. But other than that, I'm a little bit sure what else they're going to be adding on that next patch. I'm going to have to go over the patch notes again, probably after this BKK, and have a look at them, just to refresh. But yeah, I like to see less of those Yankee crashes where they just straight up ram each other. That would be nice. Now, Piastri is kind of struggling to get away from Leclerc, but we should be able to do it now. And we should have a little bit of time maybe for the next, well, never mind.
So there is a lot of depth.
I love that I say we should have no problem getting away from Leclerc, and then he just eats it into wall. That is Leclerc out for sure. That rear wing is gone. That is unfortunate. But is he still driving? Is he waiting for Hulk? Okay, that was... He should just pit. Honestly, with this, if you have any such type of rear wing damage, the AI should just pit and, you know, get your car out of the way, because he's going to be incredibly slow. We're going to lap him a few times. Bonus GP to Ferrari. Just have to do Merc did. Get both. It'll be interesting how stakes up the field. Could be interesting, yeah. Team changing will be coming, yes. That is correct. I think the concern was for the other things that might be coming with that next update. Stroll and Russell and Red Bull. Verstappen, Ferrari. You feel like the later you go out in quali, you go slower even on newer tires. I don't think you necessarily go slower. I think the main concern is Stroll is actually catching us here. If you go out slower in I think it's just more traffic towards the end of quali that slows you down mainly. So that is honestly the main reason why I started using the 2 runs was because I was having a lot of struggles in quali. If you look particularly to the early streams, we'd get blocked every single quali. So experimenting with doing 2 flying laps mainly just to have a little bit more reliability in getting, you know, an actual fast lap in. So I think probably you're just having problems getting blocked. In theory, on pressure tires towards the end of quali, you should be quicker because your drivers have more confidence. The track should be better, the tires fresher, everything like that. So oh, in the new update, they should have fixed it so that you can now do 1 runs again in the new update. So we'll see how that works out. Pit window has been entered, but look at this. Look at Norris' degradation here. This is on full attack. He's actually running them within the temperature window on full attack. This is peak performance. We're just going to keep him on the softs at this stage because he's going to still be quicker than a lot of other cars here. So yeah, we'll see exactly how we deal with that. But I might need to just slow things down and catch a little bit up on the chat. Do I think fixing the slider bug will improve the difficulty? Yes, it should. It should make the AI more reliable from Season 2 and onwards. What actually happened to Alonso here?
I'm not quite sure what's happened there.
So as the AI learns to upgrade properly, we should be seeing a bit more competitiveness from them in the later seasons. Okay. The Ferraris are not having a good day, apparently. How much damage did Sainz actually pick up there? So he had lost a front wing for sure. Well, he's lost half his front wing for sure. Piastri still battling Stroll, no big problems there. But yeah, I do think that the slider bug it'll make it easier for you as a player, but it'll also make it easier to deal with Stroll running side by side. Yeah, this is dangerous. But it should make everything a little bit more difficult, yeah. I hope. McLaren is currently the second most grid in my save. Williams really pushing on and getting at least 1 car in the points. Williams pick up Tsunoda. Honestly, I feel like Tsunoda is a good pick, although he too is kind of a tad error prone at times. He's not the worst thing you can pick up. It's Mickey Alpon. He's the no-name. Cost cap a big issue? It's more of a concern in this game than it was in the last one. You actually need to manage it. So yeah, it's not an issue. It's basically, you know, you have to actually balance your budget now in terms of your driver's crashes, research versus development, what kind of development you do. So it's definitely more something you need to focus a little bit more on, for sure. Ferrari disaster class, yeah, in Italy. Where have we seen this before? Yeah, we are getting close to the pit here, but again, we're just going to keep Norris out. He is running quicker than anyone else on the track right now. There's no need to pit him. There's actually no point in pitting him as long as he keeps on running quicker than anyone else on the track. And considering that we still have both Ferraris in the game here, either of them could still get taken out. It's quite unrealistic how stupidly quick Stroll is sometimes. Honestly, Stroll is probably tuned a little bit too high, but he does have his moments of brilliance, but he does have them far more often in the game than he does in reality. Like, you'll have a insane moment of brilliance like once or twice a season, and in this game he has them every other race. Wants to know that, but instead I got Leclerc. What a downgrade. It's like, oh, you need to restart your save. Do we know if the next patch will work with current games or need a new starter game? They did say that the team switching was going to be backwards compatible, so I would assume that team switching at least is going to be compatible with your current saves. But well, I would actually assume everything in the patch is going to be backwards compatible because they haven't given us any indication of anything else. So I think we can continue the current saves on the next patch, no problem. How long does the engine normally last for you? Because I've gone through 3 engines only in Monaco. You have a bad time, Callum. Have you been crashing a lot, or is just your engine cooling incredibly low? Because if you don't have any crashes, you can make 3 engines last the entire season with management between practices. In 22, did I ever find the cost cap an issue? No, I had to go out of my way to do intense development over the course of an entire season to even get close to touching the cost cap in 22. So I only broke it once, and that was on purpose. So it's more of an issue in this game for sure. Yeah, should only really need 4 or 5 engines. Ocon decided that what...
What's that, honestly? Oh.
I said, this is your future.
And just like that.
So yeah, Ocon pulled a Leclerc here. We're not getting any safety cars. But honestly, we'll have to see what we actually do with Norris in terms of strategy. Because if he can keep this up, keep the softs going for a good almost 18 laps here on full attack, that's going to be massive. For Piastri, we're probably just going to do him normally. We'll see. Season objectives are just, yeah, you're going to need a new game for that one. Auto mode in quali, basically fixing the fact that they don't push properly. Focus liner, basic slide fix. AI only using 1 tire for races, yeah.
It took a gamble and it was just too late.
Okay, that is... What is this? I need a minute, sorry. we need a timeout here. I need to figure out just how long the stream is going for. About 40 minutes. I need to. I'm gonna have to go back in the stream and clip that. Maybe make it a short with Jesus. Yeah, that was fun. I'll also take this opportunity to just catch up with chat a little bit because it is moving a little bit too quick for me. You guys are really, really active today. Widescreen UI, that's gonna be nice. Going to RB, putting in rookie drives from F2 and surviving. That could be an interesting challenge. Yeah, Alpha will get fixed next patch, but again, I think objectives are going to require new save games. Glad I will continue the saves. Loving the Alpha one, even if I'm making it too easy. Yeah, we might have to switch out Bottas soon. It went a little bit easier than expected, I'll be honest. But again, it's basically because we are using attack, and that is one of the reasons why I feel like attack needs to be nerfed a bit. It should have way... Like, I should not be able to pull this off what we're doing with Norris here. It's fair enough that we have high brake cooling, and generally we have good cooling on our cars, but running full attack on the softs to what is basically going to be almost lap 20 here is a tad too much, even at a low, deck track. So we'll see. With the engine cooling, can you do that in upgrades? Callum, for your engine cooling, you want to do that on your side pod, mainly, and a little bit on your chassis. Those are the only 2 pieces that give you engine cooling. No penalty for Ocon. Stewards will get on that later, Poco. Hello, Rents, you joined to the party. Carlos is porpoising. Ferrari in the mud. That is gift. Yes. I said I'll have to go back in the stream and have a look. Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat quickly here. I'm way behind you guys. You are really quick. W for our strat Italy? Yeah. Let's just run it normally until I catch up. You have a direct drive wheel and force feedback on Max. Reminds me of that Diano video where he had his friends over to try his setup, and like the guys literally almost got thrown into the wall because his force feedback is so intense. Like he's running his setup like a actual F1 car. Thank you for Ronaldo. I'll check it later. I assume it's already in general. What the fuck else? Thank you. I appreciate that. And we have another incident. What is going on here? Gasly, is he taking out Ocon? Who is that? Well,
What the f***?
I'm glad we are running in front, because otherwise we would be part of this madness. So Gasly got hit again. Okay, Rick with a penalty, Alonso with a penalty, Schumacher potentially in the points. The reason why Leclerc is so far back is because, as you can see, he's missing a part of his rear wing, unfortunately. So that is why he's falling backwards. They really should have just retired him already. I feel like that is something that needs to be added. That if you get rear wing damage, just retire your driver, because now they are just wasting, you know, durability. Is there an ideal time to get entry penalty? Generally, when you have a bad quali, honestly, Rick, or on a track that is easy to overtake on. But generally, you might also just be forced to take them at bad times and just have to deal with that. Now, Piastri does have a bit of a gap to cars behind. We are still running quicker than them, and that's the thing. We're running almost a second quicker. Well, half a second if you take into consideration the fact that we probably DRS with Stroll here. But we are still running quicker. So there's no reason for us to actually do anything different right now. So we'll have to see exactly how we want to pull this off. All series of the game, I'm the most knowledgeable. Well, I do try to learn mechanics before I start preaching on them. Although I have been wrong at times. I usually try and correct that in the comments when I am. And honestly, if you catch any mistakes, feel free to call me out on them. It helps. Monza is wild, yeah. At this point, every person's going to have very low confidence. Lap car's going to be able to take out everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So I'm just trying to see it when we pit. Can we pit into safe windows where we do not get murdered? Everyone is going to start pitting now very soon. Like, have a look at this. Albon, Alonso, Perez. I would assume that Perez and Albon have run attack, because if not, Norris has had insane tire wear here compared to them. I'm actually going to check that. Let's have a look at Albon to start with. And he has not been pushing his tires. You can actually... He pushed at the start. You can see the hit 106, 104. I guess he might have been running aggressive, potentially. But even then, the tire difference here is massive. Like, Norris is just 10% behind. It's pretty insane. I got a teaching degree, Alpin. Has made a huge leap, scary hours? Yeah. They're investigating track grip, impact on lifetime, unfair penalties, issue with car culling with static cars on track. Yeah, they were going to be working. I think that was going to be part of the next patch. The avoid curves balance is going to be nice at least. Gasly in puncture territory. Yeah, Gasly just had an incident, so that is why he's running low. He and Rick touched wheels in this corner on this lap, so that is why they are kind of both in puncture territory. It's because they touch each other inappropriately, which is going to be flipped out of context. Don't take me wrong, but yeah, they touched wheels, and that is why both of them are about to puncture. But what I'm thinking is we need to set up a new strategy for Norris. If he can again keep those softs alive for 20 laps, there's no reason for us to go on the hards here, probably at all. So we're going to have a little bit of a trip into the editor and see what we can figure out here. Because he has done far better than we expected. If he can keep this up, we could potentially put him on the hard tires and have him run on these to probably the end. But what I'm thinking is that we do a two-stopper here still. We just do it like this. Medium instead of the hard. And honestly, if he keeps degradation the same, this should be no problem at all. Again, it should have even less degradation on the mediums. The only problem here is going to be overtaking, because he is going to come out in traffic when we do this. It should still be fairly quick, honestly. Yep, I think we're going to do that for Norris. Probably pit in within a couple of laps. I think we're just going to stick with this for Piastri, because while he has had less degradation, he still has had some. We probably could put him onto another, say, 2-stopper here with softs. But I think we just put him on the hards and work from there, honestly. Phrasing, indeed, yes. They are most likely working on a patch, but not found one. Yeah, honestly, they did say it was going to come at the end of August, though. So they have actually implemented, I think, a lot of the things. It's just, what else can they get done before the end of August to make a patch that they're happy with? Try to find a gap for Norris. Honestly, Norris has basically a very nice gap here. He's going to come out ahead of Perez, most likely. The problem here is going to be these cars here. This bundle here. Because all of these cars have nice gaps that we can work with. So the bundle here is basically going to be the main problem. And let's be honest here, the bundle are going to all kind of pit here. Alonso, Perez, Albon. There are going to be a nice window here for Norris to work with. And we can probably keep him running for a lap or two longer. Their main concern is actually going to be Piastri, I think, because he's 6 seconds. So he's going to be coming out with around show. Bottas, Rick, Gasly pits. Not a big surprise there. But I think we're just going to pit Piastri here, get him away from Stroll. He's not going to come out in a very good window, as you can see here. But I think we can make it work. And for Norris, we'll just keep him running for one more lap. He is coming up to Sainz, though, which is kind of scary. So we'll get him in on this one, onto a set of mediums. And Alonso, Perez did pit too. Again, gives Piastri nice bit of, space to work with here. Gonna have DRS on everyone. Came out ahead of Bottas, which is honestly frightening. Could be very, very dangerous. But in general here, I think we are okay. Well, Alonso did box, so that worked. But yeah, as I said, I think we have windows we can work with here. It's just getting by Hamilton and Magnussen here. That's going to be a bit tad annoying. Norris has a very nice window here where he has 7 seconds up to Albon, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Russell. But yeah, we're going to have to put in a little bit of work here to make this happen, I think. Show pits, which is expected. And we're also going to have Magnussen and Albon both pit before too long. Unless they really, really want to go for that one stopper. So for Piastri, we're going to give him deploy. He has caught up to the cars in front. Deploy, fresher tires should be enough for him to just immediately overtake both. And now that he gets DRS, he should just fly by them here on the straight. Although I would like to see what happened there, because it looked like he was in between Stroll and a different car. Yeah, Stroll 2, let's pit onto the hards now. And with that, we are basically back in free air, which is very nice. No safety car. We've had no safety cars this race, Rents. Mercs just took each other out in Canada. Piastri smoothness, yeah. Lower smoothness skill can predict, yeah, because they did great quicker. So you're not wrong there, Rents. Piastri does have very low smoothness compared to Norris, but they both are decent now, I'd say. So it's not a big concern. Case in point, Piastri setting fastest lap on hard tires. Yeah, we have a lot of free air now to play with for both drivers. Tsunoda, Verstappen, and Russell here are all going to have to pit fairly soon. So it's looking very, very good. I signed Rick for one of my saves, and he did the exact same thing he did to Verstappen in 2018. Oh, that's rough. Do I also stream on Twitch? No. Unfortunately, my internet is a tad too weak to multi-stream. And I'm just lazy and streaming on YouTube mainly. I probably should multi-stream though, Thiago, to be fair. But I'm happy with the current setup. Okay, Tsunoda next. One of the dangers, he's already had an incident. No, he hasn't. It's the other one. It's Rick who's had the incident. So we'll just give Norris a little bit of extra energy to work with, and that should be more than enough to just fly by. And then we can just continue the hunt here. So far, pit stops went very, very well. Again, most other cars here are probably going to be on a one-stopper, provided we don't get a safety car. So, all in all, looking really good.
Yeah, locked up.
Multi-streaming is banned on Twitch? Yeah, so then we won't do that. Piastri with a bit of a lock-up. That's bad.
Now there's the car of Piastri.
Is he gonna do the same thing Sainz did?
Well, you could see the lockup. By that point, it was just too late.
Why did they do that in that corner? Well, Piastri did lose out quite a bit here because he was running in 4th. He is now running in 7th. Did he lose like 17 seconds there?
Now we're approaching turn 2. There's the opening.
Oh, more shaking. Is that a Mercedes save a while ago? Winning the first season actually way easier than expected. Mostly went for 1-2s. I would suspect that if you do like specialized pass, it won't be too difficult. But most people who play 22 probably will not do specialized pass because in 22 they weren't really working too well. But yeah, I'm really curious here now, just how much did we lose with that lockup from Piastri? Because now he actually is stuck behind Bottas and Hamilton. 34, so he lost about 10, 11 seconds there from that from that little dance they did. We also lost a bit of tire wear, but honestly, not a big concern. We have a little bit to go on. But yeah, that was kind of weird to watch. Still no damage, let's go. Well, he just had a lockup. Lockups isn't crashing unless he hits something, so he's safe. Canada first race for me, Sainz second at Leclerc, then Red Bull wanted to be Ferrari and take each other out. Honestly, I haven't seen anything like that on Reddit clipped, so I don't know if it's something weird with this race in particular. But yeah, it's the first time I've seen that shaking too, BKK, so I too am a bit confused at the current order of things. I think we can speed things up a little bit here now. Piastri is 20 seconds behind Norris. That's a bit problematic. Verstappen and Tsunoda has yet to pit. They have really made these tires last. And now Tsunoda is into puncture territory. Verstappen's going to be there in a second. So I'm really curious about how long they're going to stay out. And more importantly, what kind of tire they're going to go on. We're about to lap Leclerc. Went safely this time around, luckily. Don't even need specialized pass, depending on what is specialized for me. Specialized in this case, I mean like you focus the pass on 2 or 3 different stats to maximize those stats, while sacrificing some of the others. That's what I mean by specialized, Sebastian. My friend had like 8 cars finish Brazil, insane race. Hello, Scusa. You missed a couple of dance lessons that Sainz and Piastri have shown, but other than that, not too much. The Ferraris have had a bit of a bad time here. Leclerc has broken his rear wing, still running though, and currently he is lapped twice already. So, not too much, honestly. Everything's been going kind of nicely here. Hello, Andreas, how you doing? Tsunoda's tires are gone. He punctured. So yeah. He did run his tires into the ground, kind of like Verstappen is doing, so he played the risky game, and it backfired horribly. They need specialized, yeah. Rest in peace. I'm wondering what Tsunoda's actually going to come out on now. That is my big ask here. Yeah, Tsunoda came out on softs, so he's going to be on those softs till the end of the race. This could be very interesting. Particularly now too, because he's behind Norris, and if he can stay with DRS of Norris on those softs, he's basically going to get pulled back into contention somewhat. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens to Verstappen. He is running, again, also his tires in the ground. I would expect him to pit for softs any second. But yeah, he too has decided to play the risky game. 20% time when you can get punctures. I believe punctures can happen when you hit 30%, but as you get low, yeah, there we go. As you get closer to 0, the chance of puncture goes up. Yeah, unfortunately Verstappen 2 did pick up a puncture there. It is what it is, though. Currently, though, we're doing really good. And again, look at Norris here. Look at his tire. We might also need to save a little bit of fuel here towards the end because we are getting into dangerous territory. And with Stroll, we have him on hard tires, so we're not really too concerned there either. I'm going to slow things down a little bit here, just so I can catch up with chat. I don't know if specialized pass will ever happen because you make a good, super good top speed part. It would be hard to balance between super good everywhere. What I mean by a specialized pass isn't really pass specialized for a track, Thomas. I mean specialized in a certain aspect. So, for instance, on this car, the brakes are specialized for low-speed cornering, and we have a virtual safety car. Okay. Let me just finish what I was going on before we deal with this. What I mean by specialized pass is that you make pass that specialized for 2 or 3 areas. So in this case, brake specialized for low-speed cornering and brake cooling. The sidepod specialized for high and medium-speed cornering, as well as engine cooling, chassis, high-speed cornering, a little bit towards engine cooling. Basically things like that. The underfloor I keep balanced for the most part, but the most other parts I will specialize in one way. Mostly, you know, kind of sacrificing top speed for cornering ability, and that seems to work out pretty well for me. So that is what I mean by specialized parts. AI is too dumb, hope they patch it. Honestly, going along isn't really, you know, something that, you know, it happens in real life too. But the AI is a little bit too... I don't know if it's just that the puncture chance is a bit too high. Okay, that's a light touch there. Once again, a Alpine. Yasly not happy. But yeah, I'd like to see if maybe for the AI, basically tune down the puncture chance a little bit, because I understand that puncture should be a thing, but you should also be able to sacrifice, go along, have a little bit more freedom on the strategies, because right now the tires explode the second they touch under 20%, basically, which is a bit unfortunate. Reminds me of a certain race where 2 punctures happen 2 laps. Yeah. 30% of us, you lose a massive amount of time, 20% is puncture territory. Could very well be. Box Oscar, softs, how long can he stay out there? We're going to box both of them, honestly. I think Piastri is about to box for softs anyways. So we'll get both of them in under this VSC. There's no reason not to, honestly. With Norris, you know, survival on the tires, we can basically box him whenever we want to and still be safe. Like, he'll come out ahead of Stroll, most likely. How did Sainz just set the fastest lap as he's 18th? Good question.
And virtual safety car deployed.
I didn't actually see that, so I don't know. Might need to... Did a 122.089, so... Did that before the virtual safety car, but he did it with some black magic for sure. That's a good pit stop for Piastri. Gonna come out in... probably behind HarrySir. But still good. We do get a bit of a cheaper pit stop. Come out ahead of Albano as well. Nor should have no problem just getting in and out before even Stroll's getting an opportunity here. Guys, it's pretty OP if you get a special station in these parts. Pretty easy, yeah. What's that, a puncture in 42? Didn't pit him, kept driving. Body had damage. Gasly is out. I don't know what actually happened there. Suspension, probably. Yeah, we have the gap, and if the other cars don't pit either, then it's not really a concern. It's a virtual safety car too, so you'll be fine with waiting a lap for pitting. Because unlike the safety car, everyone has to run the same speed. So this is actually better for us. In any case, we'll actually come out ahead of Stroll again. So it's all good. Actually kind of perfect there for Lando. Box Pastry can catch Stroll. We have. I'm a little bit behind, unfortunately.
BSC ending.
Yeah, we'll be on softs.
Copy.
Leclerc nearly 3 laps behind. He is indeed nearly 3 laps behind, but he has been running with a damaged rear wing from basically,
DRS
you know, the first few laps here. I think it was lap 7 he had that incident of his. So we'll have to see if Piastri can cash those 10 seconds up to, you know, Russell. Stroll here. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to catch. But we'll see what we can do. For Norris here, we're actually going to deploy and get away. Piastri too, just deploy and get by. Use a little bit extra energy here. But yeah, for Norris, the goal here is going to be get away from Stroll as quickly as possible, just so we don't pull him along. And we'll have to see if we can. We should be able to pull that off, no problem at all. Piastri too, catching Paris incredibly quick here, so I think we are fairly safe from this point forwards. Can of course also push fuel. I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention to that though. And we'll see if Piastri can catch up and overtake the other cars. Yes, we are pushing fuel. I just needed a bit of processing time. Oh, never mind. Oh!
Oscar, is everything okay?
Oh, okay.
So this is what happened. Look at the McLaren driver here. Well,
I think those who betted on Piastri getting damaged won.
And there's the lockup. Just unable to control the car by that point.
Safety car deployed, safety car deployed.
Now look, here we head into turn 2. With not much room to move, the car's coming together right there. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that.
Okay, that was interesting.
While all that was happening, the crew in the garage could do nothing but watch
I'm
on.
wondering how much damage we're going to have at the end of this race, because that is definitely every single component gone. Like, no, the rear wing is fine. Looks fine at least. Yeah, I'm concerned. Like, where did Alonso even end up? Like, he's over here. I love if you all just started swearing. Like, that was actually a jump scare. Damage. That's that. You need to calm down. You become too powerful. 5-second penalty for Ocon, yeah. Honestly, I tried to stay quiet on the replay there, just so that you can clip it and ship it if you want to, but yeah, I'm definitely making that into a short. Let's see here. What's the song? Shake Your Booty, I think it is. I think it's a pretty old song. But I think we're gonna borrow that one for that one. That was very, very interesting, for sure. But yeah, that was actually scary. Like, I actually got spooked. Hamilton just comes through now. How did you pull this off? Okay, so for Norris here, we're just gonna stay out. Everyone else is gonna pit, I would assume. Honestly, we can just pit Norris onto another set of fresh tires. He'll be behind Stroll, worst case scenario. So let's give him a little bit of pit stop training. Behold your power? Yeah, honestly, I'm scared now. I'm very, very scared. But yeah, as I assume everyone is just gonna pit here. There's no real reason not to. So we can, as well, just go and get... Honestly, we probably shouldn't have gone pit lane. It's dangerous. We might get blocked in. Nope, we came out safely. But yeah, as you can see, Stroll pitted too, Rick pitted, everyone pitted. So yeah, we'll take that. I have a new bet that I want you all to think about. How many parts survived that? How many of Piastri's car parts are actually okay? Honestly, also this year, they basically kind of fixed this now. You don't really need to turn it down for safety cars. Your driver will kind of do it themselves. So you can just leave it as is. The competitive brain gives us 2 as the surviving number of parts. Scusa gives us 2. This is including the powertrain. So out of 9 parts, 2 survivors is what people are expecting. Everything destroyed? None. For Sebastian? Optimistic and say 3. The rear wing looked fine though, let's be honest. 4 survived? Okay. 0. Now remember that Piastri had his last engine, his last gearbox, and his last DRS in the car. So, this is going to be expensive. I hope we have enough money that we don't need to go into debt to do the next race. Because that was actually insane. I'm going to have to go back and do some clippings here around the 1 hour mark.
Confirm.
Okay, cars are allowed to unlap. And this is going to be a bit interesting. Show and Albon on old hards versus a bunch of fresh soft drivers. Well, Leclerc is unlapping himself, but he's still one left. He still has another unlapping to do.
Safety car's in this lap.
On the plus wise, car didn't burn, so his engine is fine. Yeah. Just retire in lap 1. Yeah, Williams in P3, P5 could be very interesting for sure.
Can use overtake.
Let's see a little bit on Albon here during these last 6 laps here, because I think we'll get away from Stroll. I hope we will get away from Stroll. I guess we really shouldn't have made Piastri's car out of vibranium. Just can't handle low speeds. Okay, so Russell versus Albon. Where have we seen this before? I have no faith in Albon being able to catch us. We could, of course, slow down a little bit, give him DRS down the line. But for now, we'll just leave things as they are. We'll have to see if we can actually get away from Stroll. I think it's doable. But it could also be a tad difficult, let's be honest. Now, Albon is doing good so far, but he has lost potential DRS, which isn't that surprising. And Show has lost out to Perez. He too has lost DRS. So I think, unfortunately, the Williams are going to be kind of eaten up. But we'll see if they can pull something off. Poor Alonso can't escape McLaren now. Yeah, that Piastri move was kind of insane, honestly. Looks like Albon is doing well, though. Norris is kind of having trouble getting away, so what I'm thinking is that we tune him down a little bit. Just a tad, to get the engine temps under, sorry, the tire temps under control. And then we will basically push again on the final lap or so. Put him on top up for a couple of laps here, should be okay. Because I think if Stroll overtakes us, we'll basically be able to re-overtake him immediately. Albon has lost out to Perez, but is still doing well here, I dare say. Stroll naps fastest lap, so that is good for him. But if Albon can actually hold on to DRS here to Perez, I think he might be safe. But that is if he can keep that going. And that is going to be the big if here, honestly. Stroll overtakes Norris, which is kind of what we expected here, which means we'll have to tune him back up. And we should have no problem just getting the overtake done with DRS in a lap or two. I hope. I could be wrong. Albon has been left behind here. He's now going to be fighting Verstappen. So, still though, potential points here for Alpha would be massive for them. If Bottas can hold off the charge of Hamilton and Magnussen. Norris re-overtakes Stroll. Not a big surprise there. We still have 2 laps to go here, so I think we'll just try and push here now. Keep Stroll behind. Nothing much we can do other than that, honestly. But yeah, I guess the main entertainment now is going to come from how badly did Piastri actually destroy his car. That's going to be the big one right now. Stroll actually comes back at us. That is a tad bit problematic. But if we deploy for the last couple of laps there, we should get that position back, I think.
This is the last lap.
Be the last lap. Let's see if we can hunt him down. Okay, we got it done. Walter is James. Piastri's car is as existent as Mick's name. It would be nice, Alpine, honestly. But I think that is going to be probably... I think they're going to kind of feed us down, unfortunately. I would assume that we're going to get my team maybe next year's game, and then, you know, F3 to F1 progression the year after, probably. Don't overtake show, don't overtake show. I think we are safe here for Albon and Show. They're going to get some pretty good results. Leclerc's still one lap down, which is not bad. Running okay. Hello? I think my game is possessed. I think that's what's going on. Gonna buy a Big Mac, chips and Coke if the currency exchange is good.
Lovely.
Oh, Tsunoda with a bit of a lock-up, but no problem. But we do win. Joel second, Russell third.
Lando Norris wins it.
Albon
He's
sixth.
first over the line.
Show seventh, and Schumacher in the points. Schumacher beating Hamilton. That's a bit of a surprise. $10,000 to Ascent. I'll give you a Big Mac for 20 chips.
What a remarkable drive by Lando Norris today.
It was a
Okay.
truly excellent win with everything.
Let's see how many parts actually survived, because that is my main concern. But yeah, the points here for Williams, the points here for Alpha. That's pretty... seeing this like this as your finish alone is a pretty, you know, insane thing. And we actually did get faster lap here by 200s. Sorry, 2000s, not hundreds. That is also pretty mad. But yeah, Norris is leading healthily at the current stage. Stroll overtakes Perez. We still have a healthy leading constructors, even though we crashed out. But the main concern now is money. Yeah, performance, perfect. Can't complain there. I did forget about Vashaw. Need to get back to that yellow tag that I had. Steiner about burger and chips. What order do I rank the most important parts of the design? The underflow is going to be pretty important just as a base, but getting your brake cooling up, getting your engine cooling up early is going to be pretty important. So I'd probably do side pods and engine. Sorry, not side pods, engine. Side pods and chassis, and try and get the side pods focused on cooling. The engine focused mostly on corner. Why do I call it the engine? The chassis focused mostly on cornering ability. And same for suspension and front wing. Suspension mainly focused on cooling, a little bit on cornering, and then your front wing, you sacrifice a little bit of cooling for more cornering. Basically just, it's not the most important, you know, order to design them in. It's basically just how you want to specialize them. Norris about to win the Champions League. Can I do a video on how to avoid going over the cost gap? I probably can, but mostly that's going to be reliant on your drivers, unfortunately, so that's a bit more difficult. Don't do a red. Okay. Let us see now how damaged that car actually is from the 3 championship results. Okay. The Formula 3 championship actually over. Bernard wins, Solov second, Colette third. Let's see here. Flash actually in 9th. Not too bad. Car inspection results. This is what we dread. Destroyed, destroyed, passed, passed, passed. So 3 survivors. I don't think this is a survived engine, honestly. Gearbox is gone. ERS is gone. He needs a new set of components for next race. That's 8.5 million purely in components. Then we add the suspension. The chassis is 550. That's 9 million. Front wing 200, 9.2. I don't remember how much a suspension is worth in terms of manufacturing cost. Let's check. 300. So basically a 9.5 million crash, so to speak. We do need to probably... I don't think the overtaking had anything to do with this particular incident, but we are going to put you on something that gives you overtaking and smoothness. We're going to put you on race strategy, honestly. At this stage, you need it. I don't know, Jasper. I haven't actually seen that. Pastry about to be 5 per croissant. I'll pay you. A lot of trolling going on right now. But generally, you don't want to do emergency manufacture. You don't want to do rushed manufacture. You want to mainly do your project at the standard pace for the most part. And that'll solve most of your problems with the cost gap. The other issue is, of course, going to be your drivers. If they decide to do what Piastri just did and crash and destroy, basically cut 9 million out of the cost gap in one race, then you're going to have a bit of a hard time. It's basically just based on that, honestly. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised that the sidepod actually survived. That is kind of impressive. But there. We do have some parts we need to catch up on. We do have money though in the bank, so I can happily say that we're still okay. But we have 14% of engine left with what is it, 8 races? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. ERS 33% left, and gearbox gone. Yeah, we're gonna have to take a new set of components next race, and that is a full set because honestly, it doesn't have any extras. Why does Frontier do Piastri so wrong? Surprised he's still alive. I wonder what... We need to find someone who plays, what's it called, Kerbal, and have them estimate just how many Gs Piastri and Alonso, for that matter, suffered during that hit, because that was pretty mad, honestly. Okay, we have 11 days to prepare for the next race. And for all of you, if you want to go back and, clip that, upload it to Reddit, the Discord, whatever, feel free. You are free to use it as you see fit. Wind tunnel data concern. Okay, so we can shut down wind tunnel and design projects for 6 days. We're not doing any design projects, we're doing a research project, so I think this works, but I think it'll also affect our research. We'll have a look though. Yeah, there's temporary shutdown, so we could, even though it says design, it should just say design and research too, and then this one will be okay. Okay. Nope, it didn't actually affect it. Good. I guess I can't do a new project, but it doesn't affect the ones that are already underway, maybe? Because I remember something weird was going on with that earlier. Research for the underfloor is complete. No, we can start a new one. Okay. Let's just check where we're at with the research right now, though. Gonna have to have a quick look. Surprised more drivers to crash don't get like concussions? Yeah. The components of Piastri are an abomination. I agree. Which team do I think will beat Red Bull in real life? For me, it's Mercedes. That's probably a realistic expectation because, well, Ferrari is Ferrari. They had an opportunity, but they kind of threw it away on basically, Ferrari strategy. Unfortunately, Aston, while they had a good run, seem to have been slowed down a little bit. We'll have to see what they actually bring in after the summer break to see if they actually have a, realistic chance of actually, fighting them. And, wait, I forgot to actually check the standings there. And, well, I don't see any of the other teams that are kind of rising up to beat them. Williams got a bunch of good points here. Now have a good lead in Alpine. Alfa Romeo goes past Haas, catches up with AlphaTauri. Kind of skipped over this because the Piastri sug, so to speak. But yeah, I think it would probably be Merc. I say unfortunately, mainly because having two teams switch domination back and forth isn't necessarily good. I would like to see a bit more a closer one. Like the first year of the new regulations was kind of good, where we actually had a few fights. Still not great fights, but a few fights. So yeah. Drivers crashes should result in injury. It should have a potential to do that, yeah. Ferrari's going to come and do a 2004 next year. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed the video, STLM. Concussions would be normal, yeah. Aston apparently stopped development as they were above target. Honestly, if you're Aston, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It'll depend on if they actually do manage to, make it worth it next season, because they had potentially winning a race this year. It's just a shame that they couldn't pull it off in Monaco. Reach season 3, driver transfers went crazy. I would assume. Sadsing has stand there in P10. Well, if this continues with driver with the team swapping, we might just split the stream. And what I mean by this is we'll continue one save with McLaren, and we'll do the other one where we kind of switch teams around and see if we can how we can do. We'll see. 2004 was the yeah. If we had 2 Checos, it would be an amazing championship. I saw people saying that, like, if you switched out Max with a Checo, things would actually be, you know, kind of close. Norris, I don't know what we want to do with him. Honestly, for him, we can just leave him and be as is. Honestly, we don't really need to do much. The research. I do tend to go on tangents. I need to be stopped. So everything here gets hit by a 5%. We've made up for the front wing. We made up for... No, we have not. We need to work a little bit on rear wing, the side pods, the underfloor. Suspension? Nope, suspension is up there. So yeah, we need to work a little bit on everything. Haha, we can cheese it. Let's see if we're actually allowed to start this. Okay, so if you get this where it tells you that you can't do any projects, because we're not allowed to do any right now, as you can see. We figured out a new cheese here immediately, because I remember that actually annoyed me at one point. You can actually just press this one, and it jumps you straight into research. And you can do that even during a shutdown, apparently. So that is a little bit interesting. Window with Alonso is short, yeah. Honestly, it would have been amazing if they pulled something out of the hat there, honestly. Like safety in 3 days. We're not going to use it on the underfloor anyway, so we'll just start a new underfloor project, run it standard. Interesting if Stroll stays, or as he doesn't have a proper contract. His start just gives him the seat. He expects Lance to catch up to Fernando. Okay. Even if you give me a rocket ship, it's still going to be Peel. That's going to be difficult, because that's Sonoda's curse, always ending P11. Driver development. We get a point of control here for Norris. Basically, I'm almost maxing that out. Cornering and adaptability for Piastri. We do need to get him up onto the other stats here. Smoothness for sure. Makes him a viable option. But again, I think the main problems why Piastri is crashing so much isn't necessarily his control. It's the low overtaking. So getting that overtaking stat up might be way more important than it ever was in 22. So that is a little bit interesting. Renault is a GP2 engine. Red Bull signed Leclerc to go with Max. That does sound like a bit more of a challenge, though. Let's check it if we have anything stepping into wary territory. I think we're good. Should be safe here. We'll put this one to rest, though, just to be on the safe side for next race weekend, so to speak. And we do have everything maxed stat-wise, so there's no need for us to really set up our own calendar at this point. We just need to maintain what we have. So, honestly, let's put this one to rest, just to be safe there that we don't go too high. And that should be okay. Mech is here. Need to get his aptitude up a little bit higher. Then he'll be very, very good. The more unfortunate one is debris. Finished out of the track. Could be. Underfloor, manufacturing completed. We do need to manufacture parts, though. I kind of forgot about that as well. But I believe it's just a suspension, so it's not like we're really behind schedule here. There we go. We'll get it for when the race is done. But even so, it should be fine. Engine, ERS, gearbox support condition. Thank you for reminding me of the tragedy of last week. And we have a new ATR period, which I'm a little bit unsure where I want to put. I am tempted to put it in the rear wing, but we'll have to see. We did indeed discover a fault that could escalate over time. Have to start up all car part design projects again. Thank you for approving. Okay. So there was a problem and they fixed it. We'll take that for sure. Agree about the overtaking. After Shan is control 92. Keeps crashing and his overtaking is only 66. Yeah. At the gym training, Jasper, for your pit crew only improves their pit stop times. None of the other stats. Yeah, I think there is something there with, as I said, probably something there with overtaking being probably far more important this year. Because it seems like, as long as you, even if you have lower control, as long as your driver has overtaking, they crash less than certain drivers. So it seems like it's just, a combination, so to speak. Control can be bad on its own, but if you have bad overtaking too, or both of them are kind of mediocre, you're going to have a lot of crashes. If one of them is really bad, you're just going to crash massively a lot. So overtaking might be very important this year, interestingly enough. Haven't really experimented much with it though. But
Our Formula One
to be fair,
season
the
continues here.
Piastri crash last time out wasn't a overtaking crash. It was a, unsafe return crash. Okay, so let's just buy the new parts immediately. He's going to have to use this for practice, which means that we're going to need a new gearbox by the end of the season. We're going to use this one for the race itself. We're going to use that one for practice, of course. The engines here aren't going to be used for practice, but we are going to need a new one for the race. That's gonna hurt the cost cap. It hurts me emotionally just to buy them. We'll have to see if Norris too, because he too is going to need new parts, and we might need to also put him onto an overtaking, training ground later on. How bad is the penalty if you deny? Honestly, I haven't actually gotten the penalty, so I don't know. But I assume you get shut down for longer, or potentially you have a fire or something like that. I don't know. I wish there were engine failures too, Jim, honestly. Control is just driver errors when alone, overtaking is battling errors. It seems to be kind of like that, yeah. If you have a lot of crashes, like some control errors like lockups can send you into a different car, of course, but since there is an error aspect with overtaking as well, potentially, if you don't do overtaking well enough, you could, crash out pretty hard. Which is not good. Let's put it like that. It is not good at all. So that race took a bit longer than I expected, honestly. So I have to see how many we can actually do today, because I will, after this, be sitting down and finishing off the Alfa Romeo one. So that we can actually get it out tonight. There we go. I think we are ready for practice in Singapore. We are going to be taking penalties here for Piastri. That's just going to be how it has to be, because, well, we don't really have a choice. The parts won't survive the weekend if we don't. Imagine if my wind tunnel downgrade. Honestly, that would be good. Wind tunnels are kind of bug right now. Wind tunnel and your CFD sim. In the sense that for research, they only function as level 1 no matter what you do. So if you're planning to mainly use your time for research, then there is no need to really upgrade it. Conversely, if you plan to use it for design, it's not really worth it either, because the max level CFD, max level wind tunnel is going to cost you about 30 million off your cost cap. And since we already have crashes like Piastri that cost us 8 million, I don't feel like being able to boost parts 6 times a year to be worth the extra expense of the cost cap, honestly. Personally, at least. Yeah, deny the wind tunnel problem. It went from 7 days to eventually 19. So yeah, you get hit with harder shutdowns, basically. Which could be bad for you, but honestly not too bad. That would be good because the upgrade just decreases a ton. Yeah, honestly. Having your wind tunnel and your CFD, investing in your wind tunnel and CFD is just not worth it in this game, I feel. What is the grid penalty for a new engine? If it's your first new engine, I believe it's 10. Is it 10 places? Japan does have some places you can overtake, so it's not the worst track you can do it on. But it'll depend on, say, the weather. If it's going to be rainy, you're probably going to have a hard time overtaking. But generally, whenever you take an engine penalty, the main thing you'll just have to be worried about is damage control. It's going to be getting back up as efficiently as possible. Try and make something out of the race itself. Okay, I think we are ready for quali here in Singapore. Another track where we usually have a lot of crashes, so hopefully Piastri does, bend to win again. Although he too did get punished by that, so can't be too happy with it. I think they did say something about like later on maybe as you get high levels you might get hit by that, but they might have decided that was too punishing because what we've seen a lot of this year is that this game seems to be designed more for a more casual audience, to be honest. So don't know exactly what they decided to do there. 19 places, okay. I don't remember exactly how hard you get hit, that's the thing. But if it's just one component, I believe it should just be 10 places. But I could be wrong, for sure. It could be that you just get sent to the back of the grid. Okay, I think we're happy with that. Let's just get into the pits before we destroy more parts. That should be through. Now we're just going to do a Hamilton 2080. Bless that. Is ballast useful and where? I usually just keep it up for the entirety of the race. Basically, you give your driver more control over the ERS. They will recharge. They will use a little bit more to attack. You might still need to give them the deploy orders every now and again. But generally, I just feel it's more useful to keep it on. Yeah, I feel that too. Like, refurbishment should be like maybe a yearly thing at most. Because right now it's a little bit too rough. Or just give us a janitor building that, you know, extends how long between each refurbishment. I bid 5 on Piastri. Well, you have good odds because Piastri is starting pretty far back this time around, so him crashing isn't completely out of the, you know, realm of possibility. Esther, you have 45, you might as well be.
Yes, that's a green light.
You're all coming for his tokens, eh? Gasly thinks he's still in AT? Yeah. I've been using rarely defend all race, and yeah, I think honestly not defending is probably your best bet to avoid getting crashed into, to be fair. So it does seem to have an effect. You should probably just use it because again, position is not really valuable. Your main battle this year isn't really on the track, it's your cost cap. Particularly if you have crashing a lot. So doing as Alex says and use rarely defend, it's probably not a bad idea, honestly.
At the end of the lap. Okay, look after the fuel on the way in.
Yep.
Oh, make things interesting. 15 on a crash. Okay. So let's see if the editor curse works in tandem, or if he takes out Norris this time around. Just gets the wrong target. Piastri crashed 4 times in a row, destroyed every carpet, and went over the cost cap. Yeah. I'm having a little bit of problem with that too, Christy. And it seems like the main reason why Piastri is actually crashing is the low overtaking. Although what happened last time around was probably just a very, very weird freak accident. I'm definitely sending that one into Frontier as soon as I can. But yeah, that one was McLaren's up. What K-Mag about to do? K-Mag about to be a bit of a problem for the Mercs, for Leclerc, for Stroll. Okay, this is actually, you know, an interesting qualifying at this point. I don't use the RS assist unless trying to pass someone. You have it on, and pack cars. You can choose to defend a car behind and waste so much time. That's fair. Is Magnussen gonna survive? Is Show gonna survive? Oh, Russell improves. Hamilton gonna improve? No. Come on, Bottas. You can do this. We believe in you. Nope. Merc is so rigged in both games. Yeah. Honestly, Merc might need a little bit of a buff here. They fall off pretty quickly, unfortunately. And to be fair, Ferrari, for us having stolen our entire staff, is still doing pretty good. We're still gonna do 2. No, we're gonna do 1 flyer on the old tires, and then we're gonna do 2 runner.
Sessions should be starting now.
None are gonna survive. 10 ships on one car taking out the other. Honestly, that's going to be a bit challenging because Piastri's taking engine penalties, Razek. He's starting at the back of the grid. He's taking a full set of penalties. Ferrari having a championship in car to start drives you half nuts. Playing against Max Leclerc Red Bull is tough. It's a 4 of his front, but we constantly fighting, and in 2 races only have 1 P2. Max took you out.
Okay, that's P5. P5.
That is usually how it goes.
Okay, that's decent, Oscar. If you could keep your pace up on the in lap.
Norris laps Piastri. Piastri takes him out. You guys really have no faith in Piastri, eh? No faith at all in Piastri in this this stream here. But yeah, it did do him kind of dirty, I'll be honest. Let's see if we can actually get a decent Q3 time now. We have both Ferraris following us. Spooky. Piastri crashing. Yeah. We love the croissant. I don't think Frontier is gonna update the roster, Kenny, because they have said that they take it from the start of the season, so they're gonna most likely keep it as is. I have faith in him crashing. Wow. Wow. I feel like you just walked in. I have faith in you. Finding the wall.
Okay, that's P4.
Nice lap.
It's like Norris engineer saying, other cars are in the wall.
Yeah, copy.
Honestly, so yeah. Second and fifth here, not too bad. Red Bull though being quick, gonna be a bit dangerous. Piastri's inability to cook. So yeah, probably said this before, but Singapore last year, Sauce were just king. They're less of a king now. They're big kind of nerfed quite heavily here compared to last year. With 4/10 degradation, they'll be quicker for less than 10 laps, so they wear off really quick. Medium to hard though is a bit of a different story. Again, a little bit of 12, 13, 14 laps. So they're pretty decently balanced here. Long pit lane means that we kind of want to try to avoid stopping more than once, but it is also a track where we have potentially a lot of incidents, so we can potentially do something fun here. Let's have a look at what tires we were given. 1 hard, a medium, and soft for both drivers. Okay. Can we do something interesting here with 3 attack stints? Is it doable here? No, not really. Is aggressive doable? Probably. Okay, so running aggressive for the whole race should be doable. 1440 versus that 1 stop, which was how long? 4054, okay. So 2 stopping is definitely viable. I think we're going to do it like this for Piastri. We're probably going to do it exactly the same for Norris, because we do have that snatch fastest lap thing at the end. So start on the mediums, go on to softs, go to hards. There we are. Aggressive the entire race. Norris can probably run a stint attack here too, because his smoothness is 99. So yeah, Norris has a pretty sizable advantage here. I did fail to put the ERS to deploy though. I need to rectify. Need to correct that. Jesus. Speaking is difficult. Cannon needs work. You can do easy 2-stop, soft, medium, soft, attack the whole race. Yeah, you can. We did basically the same here on. Well, we did soft, hard, soft attack on Monza. So there's some tracks where you can go super aggressive and would have a huge advantage. Would it not be better to leave Piastri in garage to save engine parts? I feel like that is a bit too gamey, honestly, Excuser. but it's definitely a viable tactic, particularly if your cost cap is about to break. We might end up doing that later in the season, but for now, we're just gonna not do that just yet. Would I do a say with an all-season lineup using the modding tool in Showcase? Probably could, if we find something interesting to do with that. I have no plans for it right now, though. It's critically even train for Piastri stops, as they don't occur. The betting, sub-circuits, extra pistol with aggressive pushing is a lot quicker, yeah. I would assume that pushing more aggressively, Rob, is going to cause more incidents, yes. The rest of the Season 3 reg change, been the best car by far. Pretty nice. Yeah, car part test center and suspension sims are the ones you want to upgrade, so you did well there, Alex. Hello, Ninky, how you doing? I say it depends on my cooling and drivers. Yeah. Aggressive 3-stop at Abu Dhabi. Yeah, honestly. I think we're ready. We're going to do this. We might switch it up, of course, if we have incidents, but we'll see if we can get Piastri back up into the points. Hello, Luz. How you doing? Hello, Osk.
We're just moments away from the Singapore Grand Prix.
Did I put on whites? Did I ignore that it was going to be a wet race there? No. I think we're good. Why don't I replace Piastri with Palou? Because Piastri is actually really good for figuring out why drivers crash so much. Kind of getting a little bit closer now to, I think, why, which would be generally overtaking being low. Hello, William. Yeah. Alpine is not having a good start here, no. You're correct on that. Neither is Norris. He's down to 4th now, getting kind of bullied by the Red Bulls. Verstappen on soft tyres. Most of the cars are on mediums though, so they're kind of doing the same thing we are. And we're going to play a game of Piastri high-stakes poker. So yeah. We haven't gotten overtaken here, but for now it's honestly fine. Again, once the air tunes down the car, it should be a little bit easier. Right now, though, Tsunoda and Rico are running side by side to block us off here. We don't have a mix. The Piastri taking the position driver standard. Yeah. Soft, medium, hard, soft. That should probably work, yeah, if you go aggressive. It's Mick Schumacher. Surreal. Hide. Using it as little cook, yeah. They're done Mick dirty. Potentially, yes. I think it's time for us to tune down the tires a little bit here. Tune down Norris usage of ERS. And honestly, I'm fine with letting the Red Bulls run here. We have a fairly healthy lead in the championship. We can reel them in later. The main thing here is going to see how Piastri does. We've made it 3 places so far. Still got a lot more work to do, and generally could still take anyone out here. I did forget to turn on battle assist. Thank you. Thank you, Jasper. He hit his name to be able to race. I think for Piastri, we're actually going to run him just purely on Harvest for a little bit. Overtaking here, it has become a bit easier with this race here. But it's still not easy. The ERS Battle Pass, yeah. Degradation-wise, going kind of like expected, which is also a little bit concerning. Quick question, does changing the tyre basic strategy before the race really change anything about the wear? Attack or race and the wear is on track with balanced. I don't think it changed it before, but basically your tyre temps have a huge effect on your tyre wear. So if you... it would be interesting if it was a bug on certain tracks. I haven't really tested it because we usually turn down the tyres. But... I don't necessarily think it's a bug, but it might need a little bit of testing, honestly. Some tracks though, like Monza, like Canada, you can definitely go attack the whole race and not really see much of a difference. There was a mod to get the 2019 Ferrari engine. Try Piastri on rarely defend. Okay. We'll let him run rarely defend this race. He does have soft runners ahead though. Those tires will be quick for another 4 lap, then they'll start being slower. So that is also probably why he is kind of struggling to catch up. I think it's starting to rain out there, going full wets. What is this trolling? Honestly though, Norris running with both the Red Bulls here is fine since we're running just aggressive. It's not a big concern. Well, not both Red Bulls, with a Red Bull and a Aston Martin. I don't know why it slowed down my time there, although I did bump something on my keyboard. Yeah. Piastri is going to need a little bit of work, unfortunately. I'm going to speed things along a little bit here. Might need to just give him a little bit of push.
We don't want to overcook the tyres.
I say as he's basically inside the Schumacher in front. A little bit extra energy here might be enough to just get that attack done. Although I believe Schumacher made the attack at the same time, which is also not really beneficial, but there we go. Basically, energy, run neutral, run harvest, then get close, use energy, and that is usually a pretty decent way to get the overtakes done. Piastri holding the team down? I think it's fine. Chips are in danger though. Flash flood weather, yeah. Go on monster truck tires. That would be a bit interesting. Imagine a competition where you use monster trucks spec series and you want them to race around a track like this. That would be pandemonium, I think. I think that would probably be interesting to watch, though, to be fair. Norris overtakes Perez. He should actually be ready to overtake Stroll as well. So we're looking good. Is there a limit on how far I can develop my reserve driver? Sign qualified on 6.71. I think as I get higher up in stats, the development might slow down a little bit. Depends on your temperature. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as long as you keep temperature low while running attack, you're usually, fairly safe. Okay, let's tune Piastri back to neutral. Get ready to do a little bit of an attack here on Hamilton and Albon. And I think we are ready to go. Albon is going to be a little bit of a tough enough to crack here, but I think we'll get him now. Very nice. Next up, Magnussen and Bottas. They too should not be too much of a threat. If only Singapore was rain prone like Sepang. Monster truck would be like over 5 minutes. I think so too, honestly, unless, recontour the track with curves. Basically curved swings. Curved corners is what I'm trying to say, so they can actually just go full flat, because if not, they're going to be hitting the wall a lot. Tested the hack for fun, it's really hard to max everything. Yeah, would expect that. I'm playing it risky. Yes, such risk. Very wow. See if we can get Bottas here and get Mag. But I do find it interesting that in this current scenario, Bottas is running ahead of Hamilton in an Alpha. Are they running side? Yeah, they're running side by side. That's why we can't get the overtake done. Yeah, gonna have to back off here a little bit. See if we can get it done now. No, we're gonna go back to harvesting. Now, Norris has overtaken Stroll. They've got a bit of a gap there out front. Norris is basically just running his own thing right now. This is probably one of those rare instances where I'm basically ignoring the first driver to focus on the second one. Gonna stand a little,
There's a car in
just
the
do a
wall,
fake face.
and
Car
there's
in the wall.
Lots of debris where the incident was.
It is Perez. Who said Perez is being Perez is amazing? Peak realism. Is that a bit of a rear wing damage there too? Knew we were about to hunt him down. Yeah, that is a hole in the rear wing, which means the Red Bull is not going to be a threat this. Well, Paris at least, it's not going to be a threat this race. I need to box some extreme full wets. Yeah, unfortunately, Rob, they do probably need to focus a little bit more on talent, but it's just what it is. Stadium Super Trucks. We race them on IndyCar tracks. That would be interesting. Put him on a high aggression. Who? Piastri? He already is. No, but I don't think it'll against a bit too much. Yeah, I like to see the component like just toned down a little bit because it is very punishing. Really, defend I think keeps them on the racing line, which should improve lap time and go run faster. Could be. Take the better line out into corners. Could very well be. Yeah, it's just gonna crash. Could crash, but I think we're fine here, honestly. Just slowed it down a little bit so we could catch up. Yeah, so far looking good. Piastri is running up into 11th now. Still 24 seconds behind Norris, but, well, Verstappen in this case, 20 seconds behind Norris. But still done a pretty good job at making it back up the grid, considering that he started with every single penalty he could. Maybe easing up, probably just into... You're having a little bit too much fun right now. Pit window has been entered, and degradation has actually kind of let up here because we're running in clean air. So we're gonna go full attack now until we actually end up pitting. Although for Piastri, it might not be the best thing ever, but we'll still try and make it work. Ben just employing DRS better than holding people off. Yeah. I have been running see. Make sure that Rachel gets his FP1 sessions. Yes, we have been trying. I need to reinstate that post-it note. It's 2023, still have a shaman hut for summoning rain. See the blue thing on track? You mean this one? 5% chance? I think we're safe. I did forget to pit Piastri though, because of the fun. So we'll get him in this lap onto hards. And for Norris, I think we'll stretch him a lap maybe? Still not doing bad in terms of lap times. But Ocon is quicker right now, that is a danger. So, honestly, I think we'll just release him. He should still be able to get out in a pretty good window here. So, let's just get Norris in too. Verstappen pits with us. And yes, we should come out just behind Bottas, which isn't too bad, but still would have liked a little bit of better window. Piastri's going to come out really far in the back, so he's going to have to do the overtake dance on his own again. Well, we want to heat up our tires before we switch him off. We'll see if we can make something happen here. So Norris is currently running 6th, only Verstappen has pitted ahead of us. And he actually went onto soft tires. Okay, so if he gets held up here by Perez, Sainz, or, well, he immediately just choo-choo trains past him, that could have been great for us, but clearly it will not happen. Ocon has actually gone onto mediums not too long ago, show as well, so... Gonna be curious here how we're gonna do with Piastri in terms of making up these places. Those legs are too cold, they're prone to crash. I think they're just fine. Honestly, I think we're okay. The 5% is funny because they're really zero, yeah. I think it's just that the game can't really show. They don't want to show a 0% chance. There's like, oh, there's always a chance thing. So who knows? Lando's 100% smoothness, 99 control. He crashed out and like, oh, that's unfortunate, man. That actually is pretty unfortunate. Lando crashes out on his own. See now if Piastri can get himself a little bit further up. We actually caught up to Perez. I assume Perez just pitted into new softs. Yes, he did. And he just pulls away immediately. Well, if we can kind of keep up with these faster-ish cars, we should be okay. Norris just doing well on his own there, running his own little race. It could be serial, honestly, although it would probably be 0.01 or something like that. Tires need to be 120 degrees to get better grip. The thing is, they won't last as long as we need them to if we do that. Norris can maybe make them work, but we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that. So for now, we'll leave them as they are. Piastri is still running with Ocon. Honestly, it's not a bad thing, but I'd like to get by the Alpine because they have been extremely error prone. Although being in front of it isn't much better than being behind it, to be fair. But it does make me feel a little bit safer. Norris so far doing well. We have Verstappen in front there, running the softs. But so far, it's actually fairly acceptable. We have actually lapped, I believe that is Hulk. It is, unfortunately. Yeah. Honestly, though, this is currently a pretty stable position, so we'll just speed things up a little bit here. There's not actually much we can do at this point to influence anything. We just need to allow Piastri to run his own little thing here. Try and catch up to the cars in front. And he will be catching show fairly soon. So we'll have to probably use a little bit of energy to get by. To be fair, though, we aren't too far behind Perez. We are 6 seconds behind. Perez has been using a lot of his soft tires, so it's not bad. But I am actually kind of surprised that Perez is this quick with the rear wing being basically shredded. Look at that. Perez is actually running very quick lap times here, 34.9, with a, you know, hole in his rear wing. So he is a tad quicker than we maybe anticipated here. Go, Piastri gets by show, no problem. Mag and Hulk are the worst. the worst. There we go. Jesus. Cut into each other in practice. Yeah, honestly, practice just seems a lot of very error prone, which is one of the reasons why I prefer to just sim it too. You're gonna save a lot just simming the practice. Does temperature outside affect tire temps? The track temperature, these do have some sort of an effect on the tire temp. It's not a huge effect, but they do affect them somewhat. So yeah, these two do affect tire temps. The colder the ambient temperature is, the harder you can push your tires, things like that. So it does have an effect, but it's not too big. Don't fight doesn't mean not assassinate teammate. Perez has achieved additional DRS. It kind of feels like that, honestly, because if you had a rear wing that lacked a piece like that, your stability would be all over the place.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car.
Make sure the delta stays positive.
Copy.
Minecraft villager. That's what I became there. I'm in the wrong screen. There we go. We might need to do something like this. Now, it's supposedly slower, but I don't think it takes into account the fact that we save time with the VSC. So, we'll lose 6 seconds doing that, but VSC's pit stops are about, you know, between 10 to 13 seconds faster. And we're going to have a lot of easy time to push on those softs, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that for Lando. We might do the same for Piastri. He has a lot of free air behind him here, so it'll also make future overtakes a little bit easier. We'll lose a little bit of time, of course, but I think we'll more than make up for that by doing this pit stop, honestly. So I think it's going to be worth it. And most likely the AI is going to do something similar, so we are going to go ahead and just do that, and that should make life not particularly easier, but at least a little bit more interesting. Okay. Is that both cars pitting? It is. Did we pit them both onto the correct tire? We did. Okay, we're good. I'll say with Logan Sargent, Jack Crawford with the USA team. That could be interesting. Piastri. Piastri is safe, Razak, don't worry.
And now we've had a crash.
It was Ocon. It was the scary, scary Alpine I was telling you about earlier. Yeah, farewell gearbox, farewell side pod, farewell front wing, and farewell rear wing. He might actually almost have pulled off a harder crash than Piastri did in terms of money. That would actually be kind of insane if he did. So it's not just going to beat out Alonso. Alonso actually pits too. So we come out in a lot of free air here, where we can use those softs freely. And it should be the same for Piastri actually. Not really, unfortunately. None of them pitted. So I'm going to have to take out these 3 guys again, but that shouldn't be a problem. Well, take out. Overtake them. You get what I mean. Have to take loans. Every time you show up, you get 5. Probably should get like an extension to allow you guys to kind of bet on these results, honestly.
Copy. DRS has been enabled.
Okay. We are restarting.
Oscar, you can reduce the LICO slightly.
Get a little bit aggressive here, get the heat into those tires, try and get the overtake done at the same time. That is 1. Can we get number 2 as well? Without losing too much time here. There we go.
Pack is low.
Did run out of energy though, but we got most of the problems out of the way. Getting Magnussen should just be a question of, you know, getting into DRS here. Should get it done actually here, I think, maybe. If not, the next DRS zone. So I'm not too concerned with that. It should be basically routine. He actually just gets it done there. For Norris here, he is running in free air currently. 33.2s versus 33.5s, 34s, 35s. So while we are pretty far behind, I think we can still make up. Again, Leclerc and Stroll is going to be the fight here. Verstappen is just a tad too quick this race. We'll have to see where we actually end up though with Piastri. That's going to be the main one. Yeah. I might have to see what we do here in terms of, since you guys seem to actually enjoy the casino, so to speak, a little bit. I'll see what we do with that. Ordering Piastri to do so at this point? What have I ordered Piastri to do? Tune him down, please, before those tires get absolutely massacred. Paris pits. Good thing that we jump him. I'll have to have a look at that when I have some free time. Like, probably not tonight, though, honestly. Because I'm going to have to, as I said, finish off that alpha video. And then I'm probably going to have to go to bed. Because I was up pretty early this morning. Take out the driver's head. Basically, I wanted to pass them. It's Norwegian weird English, unfortunately. Norris is looking good. Verstappen did pit. He pitted onto mediums, which he'll probably stay on until the end. So I'm wondering if Leclerc and Stroll are actually going to stay on those old hards, because if they do, we have a pretty interesting, you know, potential here. So we'll see exactly how that plays out too. For now, though, until Norris catches up, we can just speed things up a little bit. Piastri also has a bit of a gap to play with. So everything is looking pretty fine. Now, once Norris actually does catch up here, we're going to have to try and get by and create a bit of a gap, because we do have a karting Verstappen behind us. Now, Verstappen is going to have a bit of a harder time overtaking on virtue of, well, the AI integrated overtaking. And we are also going to do here, just go full attack. As you can see, Norris can take it. Piastri couldn't. But Norris here, degradation just isn't even close to what is expected. So we will try and do that. Just pull away from Stroll, pull away from Leclerc. Use everything that we have to do that. And by creating the gap, we might have a bit of an opportunity here. But yeah, we're probably just going to keep Norris on full attack till the end at this point. I think Piastri doesn't want to do his thing. I'll see if I can figure something out with, you know, extension channel points or something like that. Why did you spark then, Norris? Why do you frighten me so? Yeah, Norris has done a really good job here. Already eked out about 10 seconds on Verstappen. So once we actually do pit, we're going to have probably a pretty decent chance here. Now, Piastri is still going to struggle a little bit because he doesn't have that insane, you know, tire deg that Norris has. But I think we can go full attack now until we pit. And we are kind of getting blocked here by one Hulkenberg on medium tires. So, don't know how I feel about that. Better to planner. Stroll did pit. He's out on fresh sauce, which is kind of what we expected. For Piastri here, I think we're going to run him one more lap off this, then we pit him. And for Norris, we'll run him probably for 1 or 2 more laps. And that should give us kind of the edge that we need here to make something happen. But I'd say this has been a pretty good recovery drive so far from Piastri, for sure. And honestly, pretty good race so far from Norris. But again, we are going to have to fight with Verstappen there. He's going to stay out on those mediums till the end. So we are going to allow Norris to run probably 1, maybe even 2 more laps here. Just so he'll have a little bit more on those softs. But I think it's fine to pit him now, judging by this degradation rate. Let's see if we need to maybe run him a little bit aggressive, but I think we'll be okay. Piastri just barely beats out Show, so he too has a lot of free air now to play with, which should be pretty good. In terms of tire deg there, I think we run aggressive for the 3-4 laps before we go attack, just to be on the safe side. And for Norris here, we're just going to gamble on being able to run full attack here till the end. It's going to be a bit of a, you know, bit of a gamble, ironically enough. But for Norris, it should be just about okay. You can probably check Piastri here too. As you can see, after he runs a couple laps, it should be completely fine. So we'll see if we can make this work. Imagine Norris with avoid curves, smoothness would be crazy, yeah. Hi, Pocanaldo. Welcome back. Hope your stomach feels better soon, though. How did your League racing go, honestly? Hope you had a fun time at least. It always seems crazy to see a tree stopper with no. Well, we had one accident. That is why we pitted for this one. There was a virtual safety car. Imagine watching streams just skip reality and then you get into death. Yeah, I'll have to see. We might need to stop this whole gambling business because YouTube doesn't like it, even if it's just for fun. Qualified PA got impeded 6 times. That sounds like league racing, yeah? Which track was it at, if you don't mind me asking? I think Norris is going to catch Verstappen here, unfortunately, but we made a valiant effort, although he's gaining about 2 seconds a lap right now. Might be doable. Indianapolis road course. I have never seen that one, so I don't know either, unfortunately. Portimao? Not the oval one? Okay. You're not an oval racer, Poconalt. I would assume that the road track isn't, you know, necessarily an oval. Okay, Piastri gets Perez on his own. Should get probably the other one here as well. Russell does that too. Now, I don't think Piastri is going to be able to chase down Alonso here. That would be pretty insane if he did, let's be honest. And we still have Hulkenberg just being his own little roadblock there. Now, we are catching Verstappen by a couple of seconds each lap, so it is actually viable for Norris to catch him. For now, though, Piastri, as long as he just, you know, stays where he is, will be okay. It's still a pretty good recovery drive from last to 6th. So we'll take that. Oh, racing would be stink with these people not looking. Sounds like that was going to be pain, yeah. Get that one single woman driver in the entire game from F3. You mean Sophia? Sophia Flourish, I think it is. We could. It's a goal of mine to make a world champion at one point in this game. We'll have to see exactly what we do. Might actually do, as you said, pick her up for maybe one of the others 2 saves. I think it would be fun. I said he would crash. Piastri could take P5. Could, but I'd prefer Norris to not crash here. Now, Piastri is also catching on the other cars in front of it quite drastically as well, but unfortunately we don't have the laps to make anything happen there. But we still have one fight that's going to happen here, and that is Norris versus Verstappen. They could still take each other out, so there is still opportunities here. She's really difficult. You could put her in a Red Bull and she'd fight for P10. 50 more for next race, okay. Yeah, it probably would be doable though, that's the thing. I don't think you can sign her immediately though. That's going to be a main problem. So it's going to take at least a couple of seasons to make that work. Probably, you know, 1 season to develop the car, another season to kind of maximize it. And then maybe you'd be able to pull something off. But Norris does get Verstappen there without trouble, but we have a lot of cars now that needs to be lapped. Bottas, Magnussen, Hamilton. So potentially, yeah, we could still have a bit of an incident on this final lap now. And Piastri just about is going to make these tires last, so we'll put him down to aggressive just so we don't have an incident. He's not going to catch Alonso unless Alonso crashes anyways, so honestly we can just put him down to standard. And Norris here, we are probably going to put him down to standard too. I don't see, with Hamilton being kind of a roadblock here, Verstappen catching us in these last few corners.
What a race, huh?
Okay, mate. Excellent job.
Let's see if Piastri pulls off some
It's a cool car to drive, thank you.
something during this these last few corners. This should be Rassic, but I'm a bit unsure. I might make a save it on Ruckus in future, William, but right now I have a few things that I'm focused on, so I don't really have a lot of free time to make anything extra at the moment. Well, that's just on from season 2. We can actually check
Very much.
after this for us if she's
That was
signable.
really good. Well done.
Hello, Mav. Thank you. Greetings from France. Greetings from Norway returned. She usually retires before you can sign her. I guess she retires if she wins the F3, basically.
The McLaren driver
Yeah.
put in a great performance today.
An inspired strategy from
How do I make my
teammate.
car so
What a
good?
well-
Specialized pass, basically. Divine. We need to have a chat about Piastri. Well, Piastri did well. He started last. He made it right back up to 6th. And that is acceptable. Norris won, which is also very acceptable. Leclerc made it up to 3rd. He too climbed up a little bit. Then we have the Astons, Ferrari, and Williams, which is starting to become a more common sight here. If anything, Red Bull should have a talk about Paris. And Piastri is currently 7th in the championship, so he's not too bad. Not about half the points of Norris. And with the amount of crashes he's had, he probably would have been closer if he, kept it on track. But it's okay for now. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she wins F3, you need to sign her immediately, or she will just go poof. Piastri has never been reliable. It's more that I want to see if I can, develop him to the point where he loses that error proneness, if that makes sense. Because right now he is rather error prone. That is mainly due to, again, him crashing a lot. So that is the main reason why. So, as you can see, can't propose contract yet. So we'll have to see at the end of the season if we can. What is a... We should probably scout to see what the current contract is. Because, as you can see here, 20 in F3, 23 in F3. So in theory, she should be signable at this stage. You would expect, though, because the F3 season is actually done. So she has already done what you need to have do her till they're over 18 and completing at least 2 seasons F2, F3. She has completed 3 seasons, she's over 18, so yeah. I feel like if they can't make that demand reliable, they need to just remove it and allow you to sign younger drivers. Lips was the best rookie, but he will retire before people would sign him. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I would just like to see a driver pool, even of retired drivers, and then you can try and, try and get them back, basically. But it's probably something that's going to get addressed in the future. So we have a failed chassis, failed front wing. Not too bad, that, compared to what we usually have. So we'll just replace those and manufacture a new one right away. There we are. Financial changes, change to the cost cap. We are going to vote against this proposal. I need every single dollar of my cost cap this year. Particularly with the fact that I think we're down to about 22 million. Still have a few races to go, so we're not in any, horrible situation here. This is actually pretty healthy. But if we have one more bad crash, or just 2 bad crashes, it's going to be pretty bad. Piastri's contract is expiring, but as I said, I do kind of want to try and get a new one here. Get him back in get him locked in, because I do want to try and outdevelop that negative that he does have. I know that some people want me to sign young talent here, but I think the young talent development is going to be its own little project. For now, I want to try and figure out if the overtaking is the main reason why Piastri is so error prone and crashes a lot. So that is why we're going to be keeping him for the time being, for this save at least. I thought of doing, say, like Haas or Alpine, but adding strict regulation on signing F2 drivers. It's been a suggestion, and it does sound like an interesting one. Particularly in the current state of the game. It would be interesting for sure. So I might very well do something like that in the future. But as I said, for now, the main focus is going to be on just doing the three, the stream, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri they've reached somewhat of a conclusion. And if we start anything else, it's probably going to be more of a, shorter series, 2 or 3 parts maybe. where most of it is just going to be cut out because most of it is just going to be car development. Once you actually get it done, it's going to be pretty the same across every single series. So we'll have to see exactly how we might do that. But for now, again, I don't have a lot of free time. I'm kind of limited in what I can do. One thing that I really like to see as an improvement is just that when a driver says their salary isn't high enough for them, let us know what they would accept as a salary, because right now I have no clue how much more he wants, and I really just like them to add a okay, I want this much or this much. You are this much lower than what I would like to see. So again, we'd just like to see a little bit more interactability, I guess, and say salary discussion like this on how much they want would be nice to make life a little bit easier. Magnussen and Hulkenberg just crash constantly to air out. I think Edsa had a little bit of the same problem, but he fixed it, so he might have some advice for you there, Kenny. I think they added driver ratings change in the team moving patch. I could. They might do that, but honestly, yeah, they could also just add them as what's it called? As an alternative game start. Honestly, that would be pretty nice too. Just add at the game start, say, do you want driver ratings at the start of the season, middle of the season, end of season? Because that too is also going to add to the replayability of the game. So if they added that, they'd probably have a little bit of a easier time. But we are going to renew him here. It's going to cost us $500,000, 11 million a year. And again, although a lot of people really want me to do this with Piastri, but I like to just, again, see if we can get that overtaking up. And, well, see if we can make something happen here. Because right now he is crashing, but I don't really see any particular reason why he is as error prone as he is. It shouldn't just be the aggression. Counter offer from driver and agent would be nice, yeah, to give you a good point, because Piastri's current contract, 1.4 million. He wants 10 times that, but I have no clue of knowing. I have no way of knowing that. That's the thing. For instance, Norris' salary right now is 14. So, yeah, next year we're going to have one hell of a contract negotiation, I think, because I think he is one of the highest ride drivers in the game now, except for Verstappen, of course. Verstappen's gone up to 93, so yeah. That's going to be one hell of a negotiation. Pick beginning, mid, end season performance, yeah, it would be nice. And again, it's not something that would be super difficult to add. And again, it's just going to give you a lot of replayability, because it's going to be a different experience because of the starting points each time. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that Frontier hasn't been, mod friendly with this game, because a lot of games can survive and have a much bigger community than they should have, just based on, modding ability. But I guess the FIA doesn't like that, maybe, or F1 as a whole. But it would be something I'd like to see added. When Norris' contract ends, can get rookie in? That could be. Could very well be, honestly. Get a little bit more challenge into the game by then. Probably gonna need it. But maximize chaos, have a randomized rating option. That would be fun. Think we can go for fastest lap? I think we're going to do this, and then I'm going to have to sit down and focus a little bit on getting the alpha done, unfortunately, before I have to make dinner, get a few things sorted for the night. So yeah, this is going to be our last race for the evening. More inclined to believe it's just game dev things. Could very well be that too, honestly, Surreal.
Konnichiwa from the Suzuka
Frontier
Stadium.
hasn't actually, they're not really very fond of mods, I feel. So, yeah, that's the thing. They're not too fond of the, they're not too fond of that. But honestly, as I said, a lot of games survive far longer and get a far bigger audience because of mods. And honestly, I'd like to see, mod support added. Like, I feel like in this day and age, mod support should be almost a requirement for a game. we need to get the law passed that if you want to release a game, it needs to have mod support. If not, it is not acceptable. But yeah, because it allows you to more freely change the game to what you want. Right now, of course, we have tools like the save game editor to kind of do that. But again, it's a workaround that requires a lot of extra input from both the user, from the developer, and as a result, it's a bit harder to use for most people. Like when I made that save game edit video, I received a lot of messages, not only on Discord, but basically everywhere, comments on how do I install it, how do I get it to work. And honestly, there's not much to it. You just have to follow the instructions, and if it doesn't work, then I can't really help you because I can't error check your system, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a shame. Doesn't really work for everyone. Doesn't work for console players. So it is what it is. We'll just have to live with it. Oh, I forgot about Vashore. I'm sorry. I got a little bit too into what I was talking about. My apologies, William. My apologies, Ranzik. My child. I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. But yeah, I did forget about him. I am gonna, before next stream, get that post-it note up again. Because that little yellow note in the corner of my screen really does help with remembering that. Need a nudge function? Yeah. Should give you guys just an air horn that you can bleep whenever I forget about something. That would actually be huge. I could give you guys an air horn, and you can just bleep me whenever I forget about fuel, when I forget about ERS. Would be a huge help, actually. Yeah. Honestly, if this game was moddable, by now there would be like last year, probably mods for some of the bigger seasons, different regulations, bunch of different stuff that would be amazing. He won't be fed until next week. Yeah, they do, Rick. But yeah, I really should see if I can figure out a way to give you guys just an air horn that you can blast towards me whenever I make a silly Billy error. I'm going to check the weather. We're actually safe, okay. He's talking about dinner. Yes. Does your life matter? Yeah. He has been developing nicely though, so he's still fine. That is the official story.
This lap, cool the car.
Yeah.
That is the official story that we're going with. It's still okay. Jasper actually found a horn. The horn thing would be easy to do on Twitch as well. I have to see if it's far more, usable than this. We might have to, move places with the streams. We'll see though. I think I'm not partnered on Twitch, which I think allows me to multi-stream though, so I might have to try that out for next time around. Unless they recently changed their POS. It does count if I'm looking at chat, but if I look away and just click things, which is what I usually do during practice, I'm probably not gonna see it, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, I'll look over and then just see you guys blasting horns and then just, oh, I made an error. I made a huge mistake. What number of errors? Wait, we need to go back there and have a look at the... We'll do that after quali. So many penalties. Which means that where we quali shouldn't be that much of a problem, honestly. No offense, but I don't think Twitch cares. To be fair, the worst thing that could happen with multi-streaming is probably me getting banned off Twitch, which wouldn't be, horrible. I think it would be fine. I might not even remember to promote him at all. Yeah. The thing is though, I'll have to check what the restrictions are on multi-streaming, but I don't think it's something that will be a problem, honestly. But we shall see in future.
Delta negative at the end of the lap.
What I might do
Fuel on the way in.
tomorrow maybe is just do a little bit of a different stream. Sit down and try some of the scenarios maybe. I'll have the forgetting ball from Harry Potter. That is basically how I play this game sometimes though, to be fair. You're not far off, Razak. After this race, I must do the FP1 session and only the FP1 session. So I don't forget for next time. We can probably do that, honestly. That's fair. That is a fair punishment for my crimes. Okay. Apparently the Astons have decided to pull out their big guns for this race. And they both improved as well. Scary. You want to forget him one more time? I might forget him one more time. Who knows? We shall see. I think we're ready to run the final session. I must manage it, and I'm gonna have to sim it, unfortunately, because I am kind of running out of, as I said, time here. If I manage it, I might actually not have time to get the alpha video out, which would probably be a bit more sad. Do we have time to do 2 push laps in a cooldown? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be too close, so we're just gonna call both of you in, which means that we are gonna have a very broken. We're not gonna have energy, and I kind of shafted Norris there, so yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Too bad, Alpha. I do enjoy the Alfa Romeo save though, so I will be jumping on that basically as soon as I'm done today. Okay, Norris, you should have just about enough time to make this work, so we're still fine. But this has been kind of a shock to quali, yeah. Honestly, I was planning on picking up Sophia for the Alfa Romeo save. No joke. So, probably not going to use the same drivers for every save, unfortunately. That should be the bet, William, if anyone will forget to put FP1. Is that the new one? Whether or not he gets FP1 or he's forgotten? 3rd and 4th, so not the best quality, but not bad. Sophia. Except for the collab we needed. Thing is though, I think she won F2 in Alfa Romeo, if I'm not F3, sorry, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't know if we can actually pick her up. She won it in 1 save, or at least finish in the top 3. So I'll have to check, because again, I get my 3 save games confused a lot, which is why I look like a you know, a confused chicken whenever I start streaming, or, you know, introduced to the series, which is not the best look, honestly, let's be honest. So we're gonna have rain here. It's gonna be inters. Gonna start around lap 25. Well, basically we're gonna have to pit around lap 25. Could be a little bit earlier, could be a little bit later. So we need to kind of get ourselves set up for that. We do have 2 sets of mediums. We could do mediums here. Stay out on them until it starts raining. It's definitely doable. The problem is that we'd have to make them last the entire time. Hards could also work. We can run them aggressive-ish. How different are the tire compounds here? Because I believe this is one of those long pit lanes again at 30 seconds. So yeah, we don't want to do an extra pit stop before the rain if we can avoid it. So let's have a look at the compounds here. Softs, 4/10, 5/10 on the mediums, meaning that they hold an advantage here for about 15-16 laps. Medium to hard, 3/10, 15 laps there too. 25 laps. Starting on the mediums, running them standard here is probably our best option. The only thing else that we could do is actually check what is our best option by doing this. Yeah, that does move. It's kind of hard to check what is your best option when it's raining. But running the hards on aggressive, probably not going to be it, unfortunately. So what I think we're going to have to do is just start on the mediums and just make them last. Norris should have no problem doing this. Piastri's going to have a little bit of a harder time. But if the rain starts here, we're going to be fine. If the rain starts here, we're going to be very fine. If it gets pushed back to lap 30, we're going to be crying. So we'll go with this. We'll tune down the tires very early. Might run them a little bit more, you know, safe at one point. But this is what we're going to do here, to be sure. It's a Bottas fine. I appreciate it. But not as a reserve driver. Otherwise, she'll never race. Wow, you have no faith in me, Razak. Start on wets inters, it will be worth a pit stop. Dag will make them inters. You have a confused chicken. I load up my different saves. Hello, Rodrigo. We're gonna go with this. This is not gonna be representative because this is full attack, but we'll tune them both down to standard once we actually get in the race. And I'm wondering what the start line here is actually going to look like because of the penalties that we saw.
Drivers are warmed up. They're ready to go here at the Japanese Grand Prix.
So we have a very ambitious hard, soft runner there in the back. Show has chosen hards, so Rick being very ambitious there. And yeah, we'll see exactly how this ends up playing out here now for us. This is also one of those tracks that has a surprising amount of, well, this.
And it seems like Hulkenberg's had
So we'll see how this plays out. Normalize being a confused chicken throughout your entire life.
Pushing a bit too hard at this point. And the impact on the car,
I had faith that I'd forget my reserve drivers. Honestly, I was really good at it at one point in 22. Then they became less of a focus because my save games became shorter and shorter because it became easier and easier to get my, you know, goals completed. And as that happened, I used my reserve drivers less and less because they really didn't end up getting a chance to try out, you know, full. They didn't really get a chance to take the seats, which is honestly pretty relevant to F1. We're going to tune both down to aggressive now, and we're going to tune them even further down in the lap. Because right now we are looking in a fairly acceptable position. I need to stream F1 Manager to my class and teach. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to start traveling from school to school, streaming F1 Manager and teaching them how to play. It's a bit early to tune down ERS here, but we look to have a pretty healthy situation, so I'm thinking it's fine to tune both down here a little bit earlier. And it does seem to be a fairly stable situation, although Norris is falling behind now since we slowed him down. And we immediately have a virtual safety car as well, so that is going to keep the car a little bit more alive. Sainz has crashed out. Yeah, I agree, Cyril. Oh. Yeah, that's a DNF. That's also a goodbye gearbox engine.
You can just feel the frustration.
Yeah. Rain comes sooner because of virtual safety car. In my experience, this comes later. But right now, it's still at the same area. So we'll have to wait a few laps and see if it gets pushed back. Yeah. That's the thing, Razak. That's probably also why there hasn't been much of a focus from the development side on, you know, getting a decent, you know, U-Town system. Because most saves don't last that long because, well, they're easy for one. So hopefully with some of the complexity they've added, we can see longer saves being more of a norm here. But again, they're probably going to have to rebalance, kind of like they did last year, a little bit on the development side. Particularly make durability not give as much of a performance boost when you tune it down, maybe. Because if you start as a lower team and just get rid of all of your durability, you'll have a massive improvement just from that. Reserve drivers should just sprint after the actual race just to keep developing. Yeah. Love to see a reserve driver only sprint. It was something that I think we brainstormed with, I don't remember exactly who. But when I streamed a little bit of 22, that the sprint weekends should be reserve weekends, where reserves have their own little reserve championship. They get to try out the cars, kind of like just FP3, but make it into a sprint for reserve drivers. Give them a little bit of a chance to test the racecraft, even just use, you know, last season's cars if need be, if people are worried about the cost gap. Because it would be, you know, a chance to allow them to kind of prove themselves a little bit. As for the rain here, it is still coming. It's actually coming a little bit sooner here, as was expected. So yeah, it moved a little bit closer there, which should be good for us. In terms of the tire deck here, what are we actually looking at? Can we tune up the strategy? So Piastri is following what we, you know, expected. That is fine. I think Norris is not. So we might be able to run him. Yeah, he's following this line, which is fine. So I think we can run him aggressive, and that shouldn't actually be a problem. But since Norris is running behind right now and is kind of in charge of the DRS train, I think we'll just leave him as he is for now and run him a little bit more aggressively once we get closer to the rain. For sure, being mistreated. For sure, it's being a little bit mistreated, yeah. I do tend to forget his existence a little bit too often, to the point where I need post-it notes to remember him. But yeah, I just need to, when I do my alpha, when I do the AlphaTauri saves, to just remember that I have reserve drivers and put them in. Norris, what did you do?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
You broke your chassis and your front wing, okay.
Here we are, we're looking at turn 11. Just flies into that crash. I imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
Did he just teleport? Did he crash and then teleport? A little bit? Yeah, weather center is still level 1. That's why, yeah. Honestly, that would be great though, like if you could put your reserve driver into F2, or like help them get a seat. In F2, that would actually be pretty amazing. We are, with major damage, going to be pitting Norris here. Unfortunately, there's just not much else we can do. He's going to have to do a bit of a recovery drive. We could try and keep him out, but again, major front wing damage, he's just going to be slow. And we'd have to spend that extra time when we pit him later anyways. So I think what we can do there, pit him, replace that front wing, just have him go full attack on the new set of softs. And try and at least get back to the back of the pack, maybe make up some places. This, again, not really too much we can do here. And in terms of pushing fuel, we'll do that for sure. I don't think he necessarily damaged any components massively. Maybe a little bit damage to the ERS, but honestly, I think we're still good there. In the bin. Why am I shocked? McLaren discovered teleportation into... I did not know that, no. Crashed so hard he time traveled. Time traveled back to last year when he crashed at that same spot. The FIA banned wormholes into it. Don't tell me the chassis damage is so severe that you're actually struggling with overtaking an AlphaTauri. Because that would be sad. In the future, you should be able to buy one of the other teams or just add a development team. Yeah. They allow them again because of porpoise. They're still around lap 25, as you can see. That's when we expect we might have to go onto the Inters. Probably around here. Piastri. As long as Piastri's doing okay up front, I am fine with it. Because it's going to be raining, we're going to be pushing fuel a bit more. Because you regain more fuel under wet conditions, interestingly enough. So for now, it's fine to just leave things as they are. Norris gets Schumacher, and we are back to the back of the pack here. And we have 8 laps now to make up as many places as we can. Jasper will be happy. He voted 10 chips on Piastri getting top 5. DeLorean engine. That would be an interesting one to add to the races. You get an engine that straight up time travels to the end of the race with you in first. Where did he go? You see, he finished the race in the future. Currently looking, as I said, pretty stable though. We'll be happy with this. Never mind. Okay, we're safe. We're happy with this.
There's a yellow flag now.
I was so sure that I jinxed myself there that I already,
Right, we're taking
you know,
the
was ready to cry.
Barely any room to maneuver.
Oh,
Oh, that's quite an impact between
that
them.
is a
Now, their
strong
confidence
front
would
wing
have
though,
taken a hit
because he
from
hit the
that.
wall pretty hard. Keep the time travel delta in the negative. I need to have a look at Hamilton's car because he got hit into the wall there pretty hard. Did he lose some tire? Yeah, he lost tire. He's gonna have to pit here. And Rick there with the... He's gonna puncture for sure. There's no way Rick keeps this up till the end of the race. No way. Well, not the end of the race, until the wet period. Still around lap 25, still has a bit of time there, so yeah. I'm curious what's going to happen with Rick, if his tires are just going to explode at one point, or if he's going to be fine. But Norris has done a good job so far. By the time the rain starts, we should at least be back up in the points. I think we'll just keep him as is. We might actually need to tune Norris down here a little bit. We'll tune him down to aggressive just to be on the safe side. Because it might be that we need a couple more laps there to get into proper wet territory. I have a DeLorean. We have a tank. Imagine having F1 speeds on a tank. You'd be actually up in the stratosphere. Please don't give Red Bulls any ideas. They might actually develop this thing. To be fair though, this season with the beating some of the front wings have taken, they basically are working like a snowplow. The thing that comes to mind in particular is Perez just when Russell at Monaco came back on track and like Perez hits him square on in the side basically and just kind of yeets him out of the way, and the front wing still survived. They are basically kind of built like tanks, those front wings at this stage.
We expected it should be steady and light at this level.
Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for the next rain before we actually end up pitting probably. So in about 4 minutes time. So we're just gonna go attack it for Norris. Again, we do need to just keep Piastri's tires a little bit more alive, I think. But Norris has done a good job here back in the points. Not too far off Russell, so we can make this happen. I might need to have a look at that, Jasper, if that is actually correct. Red Bull put their engine in a tank to see how well it ran. Because that would actually be hilarious, honestly. If they actually did that. I need to go on YouTube after this and have a look. Perez would still fail to make it to Q3. With how unlucky he has been in certain qualities, he'd probably just time travel straight into a wall. Or, you know, he'd land on the line and be backwards. With just how unlucky he is. So, cars are pitting now, which means that we should probably pit too. So, we're gonna do copy them. It's still a tad early, honestly. But I think it's still okay. Or rather, the water is going up pretty quickly right now. Generally, we don't want to pit with the rest here because we just end up getting shafted. Because we get slowed down so massively during the pit stops. But this is fine. We'll also tune down the tire usage to a little bit more balanced. So I assume Rick here has actually done 2 pit stops. Norris actually came out where he should do, which is nice. And we might actually make these last till the end, these tires. But I'd like to just have a bit of a look at them. Hello, Jim. How you doing? What is Mr. Croissant cooking? He's doing good. He hasn't 2 on Baku, I think, when Stroll went to the wall. Yeah. There's a lot of you know, examples this season of cars just completely sending it, if you will, and still being fine, to the point where it's kind of surprising. Now, would it be worth it to do this? Or is it better to just play it a little bit more passively with a one-stop aggressive strategy? According to this, they're both equal, so I assume that the estimated race time, it doesn't actually take account wet tires, or inters in this case, but we can actually check that. It does, so doing getting fresh ones, or not doing that is apparently about the same time. So yeah, we'll have to see what we do here. With this though, I think we'll just keep him out then on an attack strategy. Or aggressive strategy, sorry, and we'll do the same here for Norris once he gets up to pace. I think that should be okay. And then we'll just pit if we have a safety car. I think Norris will win. Need a Piastri moment. There will be no more Piastri moments. Piastri is running healthily in 3rd place. And he has the dangers known as Stroll. Stroll is actually a danger on a wet track because he's actually fairly good at it. Hero on his way to add 3 additional bits again makes it more interesting. Don't worry though, honestly. I know some people love the 1-stoppers, some love 2-stoppers, some love getting as many pit stops in there as they can. But I do feel like it does make the game more fun. That's the main reason why I do it. And honestly, with how the Thai cooking situation is going right now, it could definitely be viable. I am still considering it. Pull the 5-stop strat. Stroll is the danger. The thing is, overtaking is kind of difficult, but with Piastri already having a huge gap here to the rest of the field, we could go for it. The only thing is, if the degradation is... Well, if this one is higher than expected, but that's because it's compared to the hard one. I think we're just going to stick with what we have right now. It's not going to be great for us. Honestly, we're going to put Piastri on the 2-stopper because he just isn't keeping up right now when we're not. So we're going to... Basically, we can stay where we are and probably get full with Piastri, or we can full send it and maybe get a little bit of a better position. So I think we're going to do that. And honestly, it might be best to do that for Norris too. He already has pretty low tire drag. So we'll just copy the same strategy over. It's more fun. It makes the game more alive. But we have wasted a couple of laps here. So it's not going to be the best, to be honest there, pitting in 10 laps time. Ugh. We're going to have to really make this work if we want to try it. But I think it might be worth to give it a go at least. I had to do 9 stops. I have a strong desire to do that. Send it. I think we have decided that we are going to send it. Have a little bit of fun here. The main thing here, though, is going to get Piastri by Stroll as quickly as possible. If we can't pull that off, we're going to be a bit out of trouble. So we're going to do this for both of them. Yes, I know your tires are severely cooking, but as long as it's within 5 degrees of severely cooking, I'm fine with it. I did click that one time too many. There we go, Piastri gets Stroll. That is 1 man off the docket. And it is severely cooking, but it's still acceptable. Poor pit crew haven't got a clue. Yeah, looking like if you were actually working on pit crew and I was team principal or basically in charge of strategy, you'd have a very, very bad time because you'd just randomly get chucked out the garage, just like pit stop now. Good luck. You'd have no clue when something was going on. So we can get the mood done here now with our aggressive cornering. Probably gonna have to do it on the straight here if we do it at all. The Menace of Defense does not want to let us by. We immediately got re-overtaken, but we're still fighting it, so that's good. This might be bad for Norris, but with Norris Dag, we can actually tune him up to aggressive again now. And just let him be happy with this. But I think we're just going to go full send. It's more fun. We are running not actually any quicker than the cars in front. So it might very well backfire horribly. As you can see, we are overcooking Piastri's tires immensely here. So this has definitely backfired. We're going to have to tune down to... Probably going to have to tune down to a little bit more aggressive here. And then go more attack on that final stint. I ran out of front wings. That's a bit sad. After that option sent a season pole. If I was your crew, I would have been jacked more than the rock. Yeah, you'd be spending half the season in the gym, to be fair, so that's not exactly wrong. But yeah, degradation is starting to hit us a little bit harder because we're getting closer to the dampness here. So we're still going to have a little bit of a bad time here, but once it starts getting a little bit more wet again, we can go a little bit more aggressively.
Seems to be drying quite quickly.
So... yeah, should have paid more attention to the weather. It has backfired here. I need a safety car. Where is my safety car creators? Williams doesn't create many safety car. Bottas doesn't. Ocon does, but that would sacrifice Bottas. Oh, never mind. That was not what I was hoping for. We're going to stay out on these tires a little bit longer, mainly due to the fact that we want the next set we're going to be as fresh as possible. I did renew Piastri, yes. You can look at that one guy at Ferrari. What's your veto? In F1 Management 4, I won't be able to sign Mekis anymore. That is true. But yeah, strategy-wise, probably made a bit of an error here, honestly. We should have just stuck with a bit more passive strategy. But that is what we did, and it's going to hurt. But we'll just have to live with it. Now for Norris here, we're going to run one more lap aggressive. Excuse me. And for Piastri, we're just going to have to try and make the best out of it. We'll have to see, though, if he can hold on to that 5th place. Because running attack now should be viable. But I still want to wait one more lap before we do so that we get a little bit more water on the track. Yeah. Well, my safety car creators, yeah. That is basically what they are, though, let's be honest. I need my safety car team on the track, stat. We'll have to see if we can get Norris back up into 6th place here with Perez. Again, it's a bit of a failure, this strategy, because I didn't take into consideration that the water goes down, and the more water on the track, the colder the temperature on your inters, and once they start to fall below, well, close to, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 even, you lose a lot of cooling on your inters, and they basically turn into slicks, which is what you see happened here. So that costs us a lot of lap time, and Norris now is going to have a bit of a sad time staying behind these boys. So we'll recharge him, and then we'll try and get him by. Piastri, your tires are going to overheat. It's fine. We have enough water on the track for it to be okay, I hope. A full set of an error is an experience, yeah. Poor fella doesn't have the stress of helmet marker. That will cost 15 chips. Okay. That will be painful. Yeah, let's see if we can get Norris a little bit closer and get him by Gasly, Albon show. Being an employee of Markham should be more challenging than being Lewis Hamilton after 21. Go on, Norris. Full send it. be fair though, considering that our ballast is with the Red Bulls, this isn't completely a wreck just yet. Could be very soon, but not yet. Gaining 2 seconds currently on Stroll. We're a little bit too far behind to make that happen. Oh, goodbye, Norris.
A guy turning into me. Makes sense. Lando, are you okay? Are you okay?
Bye-bye, chassis. Bye-bye. I want my money back. This isn't a safety car. It's a virtual safety car.
And that won't do their confidence any good.
Okay, so question now is, do we jump in for another pit stop? No, it's the penalty too. Okay. I don't think we jump in for another pit stop, even if the others pit. There's no point. But this does give us a chance to... Sorry. This does give us a chance to hunt down Verstappen. Norris filling in for Piastri, yeah. Didn't tell you. Of course, that will give you half price because it's a virtual safety car. Down to 5, is there a result else up? Didn't you say Piastri top 5 though?
Virtual safety car ending.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, virtual safety car ending. We are gonna go full on send and see if we can hunt down one Verstappen. Need to limit the damage done to Norris, but yeah, he had 2 crashes. I don't even know what we want to call Piastri's Monza adventure. If that was 2 crashes, 3 crashes, an error in judgment, I don't know. Full gamble for pit stop would have been pretty, brave, but honestly, with the amount of time that we have left, I think it's not going to make much of a difference. We just need to try and get by Verstappen ASAP, and we need Tsunoda to do some magic there when Stroll comes by. Or rather, Magnus is probably the better hope there, in terms of an assassination. Which is kind of horrible to say in an F1 context, but it is how it feels sometimes with this game right now, honestly. Can we get the move done? Maybe. Pull the move off. 2 laps to go. I think we are good for 4th at least, but we're going to lose a lot of money because I think I said we wanted to get 3rd. Is Alonso doing Chad things? Well, he is finding Leclerc right now. Can enjoy that. Correct word for this race is disaster class. Piastri is finishing. I'd say that is not a complete disaster class. Disaster light, maybe? Jasper could be very happy very soon. Piastri out, okay. That is a bit unfortunate there, because your best option to actually get Piastri out was probably Norris. Hamilton thinks he's still in the 2009 car. Could be. Piastri has a very healthy lead there of Verstappen, so we'll just leave him be. We'll see if Alonso can get Charles Leclerc. Which is also a funny little thing there. But yeah, Charles Leclerc. Looks like, unfortunately, no contest here. Now, the virtual safety car might actually have caused us a bit of a problem. We might have actually caught Stroll without it, interestingly enough. But Leclerc wins. Alonso second, Stroll third. Piastri comes in 4th. Then we have the Red Bulls.
Good job, buddy.
Albon potentially in the points there again.
We were there when it mattered.
but that's just outside.
Thanks for your work, Spigot. Massively appreciated.
That's a great result for us.
Yeah, not too bad. Williams still dominating. Russell Mack gets 7th, which is actually a bit of a surprise there for the Mercs, unfortunately.
Now, wasn't it an excellent showing from Oscar Piastri?
Mama Chuck.
That really was.
Just Alonso sits on Leclerc. Well, unfortunately, the Leclerc got vengeance here and struck the Alonso. But yeah, Aston will probably going to be pretty happy with 2/3. Ferrari's definitely going to be happy with Leclerc winning. We are kind of happy with 4th here, but it's a bit unfortunate with why can't I remember? Norris. There we go. Verstappen and Perez 5th and 6th, Russell 7th. Then we have the Alpines in 8th and 10th, and Albon scoring good points for Williams. New standings. How bad is the Merc? It's actually not having a very good time here. It's currently 5th, but Williams could probably catch it by the end of the season, potentially pushing it down to 6th. So it's a bit of a weird situation where they really, really fall off hard after the first season, like incredibly so. Because Red Bull, Aston, Ferrari, they aren't too far off here. Let's be honest, if we take these 3 in a vacuum. But Merc just being 230 points behind Ferrari at this stage, in 4th already. That's a tad too much, honestly. They might need a little bit of a buff. Piastri, at least Norris put in a good pit stop there for the pit stop championship. We'll take that, at least. That first little error. So we did have to pay a lot of money here because we didn't finish our streak of top 3s. But yeah, that is what it is. Norris is one poor race and I forget him. Basically, I kind of like to do a Red Bull with Paris, I guess. But yeah, I just had a bit of a brain fart there where his name kind of escaped me. You have to bet next time, Razak. I'm going to do Q1 here. Sorry, not Q1. FP1, just so that we remember that we have a reserve driver. And then I'm going to probably have to end the stream, unfortunately. That 5th looks like an F2 team. But yeah, we'll have a bit of a look here. Low morale for... Ah, oh, thank the heavens. We keep our money. I think we're going to put in one more project there on the chassis. The question is if we're going to heavily invest in the chassis or not for the research, because it's going to be very... The chassis is very important for your, well, top speed. It does have a decent effect, but it's more important for your top speed cornering ability. So we could do this with our CFD time. Or we could have a look at the chassis again, maybe. Even the front wing. Sorry, not the chassis, the suspension. I think we already invested a decent chunk into the suspension, though, so... I think it's better to invest into the chassis, maybe allow it to catch up, but this too gives us a decent amount of cornering. It's either that or we wait for the... check the side posts, the rear wing. I think we might do that with this allocation. We might have a look at what we can get with it for the other parts before we make a decision. And we'll see what we can do. If this save is still going when the Team Swaps comes out, I gotta save Merc. That could also be a fun one to do, to be fair. But yeah, as I said, I might just split this stream up, well, this save up a little bit when Team Swapping comes out. We might take another... We might continue with the McLaren in, say, one reality and take another team in a different reality and make the F1 cinematic universe. But yeah, we're just going to do regular chassis here, and we'll see what we can get from our ATR time and other things, because the chassis will be done before we need to actually make a decision then. So we destroyed a chassis at front wing, some side pods, which means that we actually have some pieces that we need to replace and manufacture anew. And the chassis in particular is expensive, so we'll have to see exactly how we do with that. How are we down to... Didn't I have 6 front wings at one point? Let's just get this... Let's just get this produced before I try again. Also another side pod. There we are. Okay. All manufacturer slots are being used, so we'll have a look at that later. A short time? I'll try and remember him, yes. How is my car compared to the rest of the grid? We can have a look because we are going to go and do FP1, just so I don't forget. We're going to go ahead and get that set up. Okay, we have the sidepod research. We can have a look at, see if we were to say invest into this, where we'd be at, because again, airflow front, airflow middle is very important for your cornering. And the gains wouldn't actually be massive here compared to the chassis, but we do have one more ATR period. So I think for now, we're actually going to put this into the sidepod because engine cooling is nice to have. We also have fairly high brake cooling, but it just gives us a decent boost for next season that we can then work on, and we'll use the other ATR period for the chassis, I think. So that's how we're going to play this. Did Merc Bahrain so far finish P2? P5? Pretty good. Leading constructors, that is very nice. Update on safety editing can change team performance. That's going to require a lot of testing loot, so if I make that, I'm probably going to have to make it in about a week's time. I'll have a little bit more free time then. But yeah, right now there isn't it's not something that is high priority right now, but it's definitely possible to do. The main problem though is that you're gonna have to get a save, and you're gonna have to do that for every save that you make. When 6 front wings, another save? Yes, I have started making 6 front wings now. Once I basically decided on the design, because they are quick to make and they aren't that expensive. So that's the only one that I have 6 of. You also have Piastri, so maybe 8 for lunch. Yes. My front wings. I just imagine Piastri looking like a front wing when you said that, Surreal, honestly. It would be cool, but yeah, it's going to require a lot of testing to actually get properly, get a proper performance out of it. And it's going to require some balancing too. It's going to be a bit harder to make. Race sim, higher obligation scheduled. I'm going to deny that one. You're already stealing 15 weeks from me in terms of driver experience. You're not getting any more. I really wish you could just completely ignore any sponsor obligation other than maybe driver appearance, where they, go and get a lot of money from just showing up. And that other one, merchandising. Honestly, with just those two, even with just merchandising, ow, should bit my tongue there. With just merchandising, I would be pretty happy, to be fair. So, it depends. Do I want to do a front wing? Or do I want to do a rear wing? I think we'll do another rear wing, get that DRS effectiveness up a little bit more. Top speed is nice too. Like so. So I think we're ready now for Qatar. We're just going to set up the... Well, we're not ready for Qatar per se. We are ready for the practice session. So I remember for sure before I forget him again for the foreseeable future. So let's go in and get that sorted. It's almost impressive his front wing consuming capabilities. Piastri heard that wings were delicious, but he didn't. We didn't specify which wing, so he just went immediately to try and eat some front wing. They did. They did loot. Yes, but the sponsorships aren't sponsorships because they take so much from your team in terms of performance that they are. Basically, the way that I look at it is that sponsorships in their current form was a band-aid on the last game, where drivers were prone to errors. Instead of setting their control stats to 20, they decided that, oh, we can make sponsorships that will make them have errors here and there, and so that it doesn't influence the game too much, we'll make them not pay out anything. And they just didn't rework that for this game, unfortunately. So there goes on. I'm feeling more and more sick. Hope you feel better soon, Jim. Honestly, it's not a good feeling. But yeah, as one might expect, we're gonna need a new engine at least for Norris, probably a new ERS too. So next time around, we're probably gonna have a look at the cost cap again. See if we can make something happen there. Let us see what we need for LaSalle. We need an 8, a 13, 7, 3, 35, and 90. and almost arrow. Like so. Now I just click go to practice and then see all of you yell because I forgot about this man. There we go. We're actually going to remember him for once. Let show drive on Friday? Yes, we will. But yeah, Jim, I hope you feel better soon. Honestly, it's not a good feeling to feel sick. I'm just going to double check. Yes, he is in the car. I guess this is the way they fine dine down under. Yeah. You want some shredded front wing on your pasta? There we go. We remembered him. So yeah, we are going to end it here. I'm just going to go through chat. We'll have a little bit of a... I'll catch up with all the questions, and then I am going to have to go. Front wing research is 1 million. Yeah, the sponsors are quite pointless. I think that's the thing. The only ones that actually give you some money are the merchandising, which I think you can make about 8 million over the course of the season, but it requires an upfront cost. That's pretty insane. And the only other one is the driver appearance one, where that doesn't actually lower your control stat. It lowers something else, but gives you a decent amount of money for each, appearance. Single engineer, more effective even when doing less research throughout the season. The reason why the single engineer is more effective from a money perspective, because the way expertise works is that it's gained daily. More engineers, you'll get done with the project quicker. You'll get more expertise daily. But in total, you end up with less expertise than if you did the project with just one engineer, meaning that the best ratio of money to, performance is one engineer on the project. So that is why you, for research purposes, particularly towards the end of the season, might want to use less engineers just to save a little bit on your cost cap. So there's no big... That's the reason why I'm running one engineer on my projects. Putting some ranch on the front wing down. Front wing on the Barbie? Yeah. Got no trust in you, did you? Already have the comment of me for getting him ready? Yeah. Tingolo is development from RaceSim. Yeah, there's some very negative sponsorships that, as I said, I think were used as kind of a balancing band-aid in the last game. That's the only way they kind of make sense to me, so... I hope they're gonna rework them. I would love it if they were working for, this year's game, but I would assume that might be something for next year, maybe. Yeah. The way the racing works is that gives you extra development for your drivers. But we are going to end the stream here. Again, Alfa Romeo is going to be a little bit later tonight because, as I said, couldn't actually get it done before the stream. So, give myself a little bit of time here. I'm about halfway through. It's probably going to be out in around 3 hours or so. So hopefully we can make something happen there. But yeah, with that apparent sponsorship with the racing one, that denies racing development, any older drivers just whack them in there. Honestly, they won't develop much anyway, so you'll definitely need the extra money. It's definitely nice. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. I'm a little bit unsure if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I might. If I do, it's going to be around the same time. I'll probably figure out later tonight what the plans are for tomorrow, and then figure it out. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope to see you all next time. Bye bye.